Not like Dana and them don't know.
Well, that's true. Good go. What's up, everybody?
Hey, what happened here?
You good, my guy?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, we'll get this thing started. Friday, May 3rd, 2024, here in the United States. Maybe May 4th, where you are, depending on where you're watching or listening. If that's the case, May the 4th be with you. Star Wars Day.
Okay. Well,
Regardless, we are the Metalheads Unite podcast. I'm Chris. He is the cornbread metalhead, Jason Tucker. Welcome, everybody, to the show. We are back at our regularly scheduled time with our regularly scheduled format this week. We are in between interviews. We had Lassie Landstrom from Finnish band Never Fade on the program last week. He hung out with us for, a little less than an hour and a half. We got to spend some time with him, got to get introduced to the band. We got to talk about their debut single Phantoms of the Wind, see where the band is, where they're going. It was a nice chat with another Scandinavian band, and we do have one scheduled for next Friday. We'll let Jason talk to you guys about that probably at the end of the show. That way we keep you guys
yeah.
you know eagerly anticipating that news, and we got some other irons in the fire. So
Thanks.
we are back at it.
I've got some big irons in the fires.
Yeah. So
So not it's kind of like outside of what we usually do, but these bands are kind of known, but they're not still. I still don't feel like they're as known as they should be. I guess I should say, but
yeah,
I don't want to like put anything out there because I haven't really
sure. You haven't
got
nailed anything down yet. Yeah.
down, so I don't want to mention any names or anything. But they are bands that have been around for a bit, and
Yeah.
I'm definitely intrigued to hear one of the stories because I kind of chatted him up at the show that I went to on Sunday, and like just from what I've got from him, man, it's a very interesting that they're still around. I'll put it that way. So
Oh, all
what it
right.
was, I'm like, wow, dude, that's just. I said, you got to come on the show and talk about these things. He said, hit me up on Instagram, man. I'm like, okay,
Yeah,
networking at the show, so
that's right.
do what you can. So
Evening to Dana and to my Aunt Amy. The regulars have arrived at the bar. It's good to see you guys.
yeah, everybody knows your name here. It's like,
Yeah, that's
cheers.
right. But yeah, I mean, just because that's kind of our primary focus is on the up and coming bands doesn't mean eventually that we won't, try to reach out to maybe some bigger names. If somewhere down the line we get just, theoretically,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, pick a big name band. Theoretically, if we get a Machine Head or
Matt
just
Easton from Trivium.
oh well, that's gonna be part of my actual show and tell here in just a second. But yeah, just you never know. I mean, so yeah, we our
It's like
bread and butter is the up and coming bands, but I mean, who knows who we may end up talking to going forward.
it's like I have ESPN or something.
Yeah, ESPN Plus.
I was ain't the Ocho. I was like,
Oh, just nothing but dodgeball on there.
uh, stupid rock paper scissors.
Cornhole.
Yeah, ping pong tournament.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm gonna share this in a little bit with for the weekly link, and then of course we'll share the Spotify playlist from last week too. But I wanted to call out a few things. Like I didn't realize one of the last released their second single this week, so
Hmm.
off their upcoming EP, right? That's what they said.
Yes.
Yeah, so I
Yep.
think they're doing EP. So their second one has been released. The gold standard is on there. I wish I could figure out this thing. Actually, I think I'm just going to buy a new one in a couple of weeks and just be done with this thing. So,
Yeah.
but I definitely would like to play some stuff in there.
Right.
If we have the ability to do that now
And
with
and
the video and stuff. So
and Halo Scars.
Yeah, they just had one out last week. So,
Yep. So
so definitely, or no, was it last week or 2 weeks ago?
I don't remember, but relatively recently,
Yeah, it's been in the last couple of weeks. So
very, very recently,
they do
actually.
have a release date for their Ascension EP, which I'm excited for. I think was it May 11th?
14th, I thought.
Yeah, 14th. You're right. You're right. So I mean, it's just right around the corner. I mean, it's
Yes,
two
it
weeks away,
is.
2 weeks away. So excited for those guys, man.
Yeah.
And then I also wanted to call out there was did you notice in the playlist, and I forgot to bring this up, that there's a new Flossom and Jessamine song out there. So
I didn't notice that it was in the playlist. I haven't had a chance to look at it yet, but I did know that they had a new song out.
yeah,
So
it
yeah.
was on last week or the week before. I can't remember. I meant to bring that up to you and I forgot. So
But I did see that it was out. Dana says, "I know something about Halo Scars." Well, something new because I mean, you know a lot about Halo Scars, but
yeah, and you probably know more than me this time because I haven't talked to Kobe in a week or two. So Kobe, he's like, "Hey man, check this out. What do you think?"
right.
It's pretty cool. But All That Remains also had a release this week, so
Yes, they did.
some big names are coming out there. And then one of the bands that a young band that I had been in contact with about a year or so ago. Just I think you were talking to them the other day, Hellraising, about
Yep.
their latest release as well. So
Yep, they reached out and they sent me, and I feel bad because I missed it when it came out. I'm not exactly sure how that happened, other than the fact that we just got normal everyday lives.
right,
But they sent over Instagram. They sent me their new single, "Baptized in Blood," and I checked that out. It's on Spotify. It's a banger. So
it's on the playlist this week. So.
yeah, it's really good.
And then of course, Out of My Head, they're big supporters in our Facebook group. So I always include anything they put out there too. So
Mhm.
I didn't realize they had an EP that released last month. I don't think
Yeah,
it was.
yeah, man. It really is. It really is getting hard to keep up with a lot of this, especially.
It was in March. Sorry. So,
Yeah, but I mean, a lot of it is it's getting hard to keep up with, which I guess in a way is kind of a good thing,
I mean,
because a lot of the bands that a lot of the bands that have become friends of ours, they're busy and they're cranking out new stuff, and it just goes to show that I mean, these guys they're out there, they're working hard, and they're making a name for themselves, and that's on top of like you just mentioned All That Remains. All That Remains is working on stuff. Ash's Reign has started. They're a quartet now. They have found their drummer and guitar player. So well, another guitar player.
we don't want to give too much away because we got a lot of that going on in the headlines.
Yeah. So I mean,
A lot of album news in the headlines. So,
yes.
so it's cooking, and it's really cooking. So, all I
It
can.
is. It really is, and it's awesome. It really
And like
is.
I said, you're at the point of the year where you still may get something before December.
Could.
But, more than likely, I'm going to say a lot of this stuff's going to be, you know, unless something's already been completed and they just haven't announced it. Of course.
Mm-hmm.
But if they're coming in and saying, "Oh yeah, we're finally in a studio," then it's May. Yeah, we're probably looking at early 25. So,
Yeah, I can think of one band that has recently announced that new music is being made that is probably going to be in 25. You're probably thinking the same thing. So,
oh yeah, probably. Uh, like I said, I got a bunch of that stuff
oh yeah,
in the news, so I don't want to give too much away at the first message was sent. Oh,
Dana sent us a Facebook message.
uh,
Yeah,
well, I'm not.
yeah.
I'm logged into the Metalheads, so
Yeah. I read it. I read it. I saw it. I haven't had a chance to respond yet because focus on this right now. But I did see it, Dana. So
oh, that is awesome, dude. I hope
yeah,
I hope that's true. So
same.
yeah, I hope that works out for him.
Hell yeah.
And it doesn't surprise me, being
Mm-mm.
as some of the bands they've already opened for. So
Yep.
so
Hell yeah.
so, they've definitely been on some big bills already. So nothing but shoot it to the moon is what they say.
That's right. That's right.
Um, but I do want to talk about the show a little bit. Of course, I
Yeah.
don't have shirts on because they're already warm this week. But of course, they don't have. Upon a burning. But it was the last night of the tour, So of course a lot of the big boy sizes were sold out, but so 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 I didn't get up on I bought up and up on a burning body shirt. There we go. Too many vowels in there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I didn't get to get one of their shirts. Susie got one, so that's all she cared about. So, but I did get a Browning shirt and a Hollow Front shirt. So it was like I think that bill was probably one of the most. I mean, it was almost as perfect as the Dave Strikes Back tour.
Oh, okay.
Just the lineups being so similar, in music styles. So it kind of they all blended really well. You didn't have. I mean, there are some differences. Don't get me wrong, but I mean, you still had that same flow uh,
Mhm.
of bands that complement. I guess they complement each other really well, is what I should say. So
Well, that's good. I mean, that means they're kind of like focusing on their core audience. So
yeah,
kind of
yeah,
good. Nothing
and,
wrong with that.
and Upon a Burning Body just needs to buy a new van at this point, or bus, or whatever they travel in, because they broke down again on the way to the Nashville show. I'm like, what is it with you in the Tennessee shows? You always breaking down. So, and what's fucked up is they're actually scheduled to come back to Knoxville in the summers. so,
Yes, they are.
uh, so, so I was just like, dude, y'all better get a new bus, man, or just try to move around Tennessee or something. I don't know. Tell you, man, like that's what happened to them in Murfreesboro. Their bus broke down, and I don't remember, like Kentucky or something, and
Yeah.
or wherever they were at, and had to move on. But they actually made it, got it fixed and made it to the next show, but they missed the Murfreesboro show. So actually, it was supposed to be at this show,
Hmm.
so, which is kind of ironic. I didn't plan that, honestly, but segue for days. That's what we do, man.
That's
That's
right.
what we do here. We
Yes, it
segue
is.
and don't even know we segue. So, uh, but it was
Sometimes.
great. It was a great show, and it was we did meet and greets with all the bands. Victims is a young and up and coming band too. They went through some growing pains as well. I think they used to have a female vocalist, I thought, but like I guess like both of them, they had like two vocalists,
Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah.
down to the one. So, uh, and then of course the Browning cool dudes. The Browning actually moved to Nashville, so I got to talking to them about venues. They were kind of interested in, hey man, you're from around here, and I said, yeah, I've lived here pretty much all my life. And he was just like, oh man, what's some other cool venues? He said, I like this one, but I like to get my name around town. So
Where was the show again?
it was at the Cannery
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's right. That's right. That's right.
Mule. So
Yeah.
they did some remodeling in there, so it was really good. So uh, still not a huge place, but
No.
you still like I think 500 people or so probably in there. They didn't have that many, but I mean there was a couple hundred people in there. So I mean it wasn't a bad show. It was definitely more there than they could have fit in exit in. So
Oh, well, yeah, that's true.
so,
That's true.
so, so that's a good thing. But yeah, he was asking around about different venues. So I was telling him about the ones that I knew of right off that. But
Yeah.
and I said there's a lot of small venues too, man. So if you ever want to do like a pop up show, man, I'm sure they would accommodate you, especially with your name. So
Yeah.
uh, like I said, the Browning's not a huge name, but
Mm.
most most metal people know them.
Yeah.
Have heard of them. I'll put it that way.
Right. Yeah, they could probably do pretty well at the Cobra, like if they wanted a headline,
Exactly.
and then maybe work their way up to Marathon Music Works at some point.
Yeah. Yeah.
Basement East.
Yeah. That's why I mentioned the basement and the basement
Hmm.
East and Marathon and was a couple other ones I was talking about. I told them the best place that I thought sound wise was more Memorial, and I don't know why more bands don't go there. I don't know if they just stopped booking bands are there or something.
They may have, because I mean they haven't even popped up on the Hit in the Road. I mean,
So I'm gonna look that up while we're
yeah,
doing the show. So
because a lot of shows are. There's a lot of shows here lately, like the last few weeks. The shows that have been coming this way or are slated to have been going to East Side Bowl,
right,
which is a great little venue. My buddy at work, my coworker Tyler, he actually went to a show over there at East Side Bowl. I think last weekend. I can't remember exactly what the lineup was, but he was telling. I know that Emir was on the bill somewhere.
I think
I just can't remember where. But he went to East Side Bowl. It may not have even been last weekend. It may have actually just been earlier this week.
think Lacuna Coil.
Tuesday? Tuesday, maybe? I don't know.
Isn't Lacuna Coil and New Year's Day going to the Brooklyn Bowl? I think that's where they're going. Coming up.
I don't remember. I'm gonna have to look.
I think that's coming up though. So
I'm gonna have to look.
the crazy thing about War Memorial is their website is WMA Rocks. So it's like, okay, does it though? I mean, I mean, there was country artists that went there too. Don't get me wrong, but
well, sure, of course.
The acoustics in that place is amazing, dude. Like,
Yeah.
I would go to every show, every metal show they put in there. I would go to just because of that, just because it's such a great sounding venue.
I've never been there.
Yeah, I mean, the only time I'd been there was seeing Kill Switch and Parkway Drive and after the burial, and like, man, the acoustics off of that was just like, oh, it's so wow. I was like, God, this is so awesome, dude. So,
yeah.
So, it is what it is. So yeah, the website didn't even pop up. So
that's weird.
It says buy tickets now on SeatGeek though.
Interesting. Well, nothing that we've been announcing is going there.
Right,
so.
right. I was just wondering if they were booking anything.
Yeah,
and that was the thing. Are they doing anything at all? So, so that was kind of my.
Well, I mean, I'm glad you guys finally got to go check out that show, and I know Susie'd been wanting to see Upon a Burning Body for a while, so
yeah,
I'm glad you guys got to go.
Dana even said, "Yeah, it was an awesome venue." Yeah, it was, or is, or whatever. I don't know. Like I said, I don't know what's going on with
yeah,
it.
whatever the current status is.
Whatever the current status is. But yeah, it was definitely a great show. They there was like a song or two I wanted to hear I didn't hear, but it's okay. I mean,
that happens.
Yeah, it's gonna happen. But they did play my the Extermination, which is one of my favorites. Satan Joel for the word. I love that shit.
Yeah, Havoc did that to me last time we were there. I wanted to hear Scumbag in Disguise. They didn't play it.
Yeah,
it happens in pretty much every show. There's always one.
Death Angel's probably not going to play your.
Dream Calls for Blood, probably not.
Blood.
Yeah.
Play I Came from Blood. But saw Slayer and Testament at War Memorial. Oh my god!
Wow.
I bet that was fucking wild.
That had to have been good.
All right. Well, enough of that part, I guess. So, we'll get into some stuff, and then we'll do a little show and tell here after the news stories before we get in the tours and stuff. So,
sounds good.
We give us a little break to recuperate and show some of our goodies that we own. So, not that we're bragging, I just think it's cool. Some of the stuff that I've gotten has been gifted, over the years. And I was like, I didn't even know some of this stuff existed. So right. It was a surprise to me too. It's like, oh wow, I didn't know that. Like I said, I bought that one. Actually, I'm gonna bring that next week. That Iron Maiden album that I got when I was in Arkansas. I was just like, I've never heard of this album, and I look it up, and it's like a $200 album on eBay. So I'm just like, oh,
there you go.
That's probably why I never heard of it, because it's a rare album, I guess. But I just like that, it's Iron Maiden, so you're obviously buying it for the artwork. But
yeah.
Speaking of which, we'll talk about that in a minute too. So,
oh yeah.
Let's get into some birthdays here from tail end of April, from April 27th to today, May 3rd. I haven't been on today, so if anybody's been posting anything band wise that I follow, I haven't seen anything, so I would apologize if I missed any of those for today. But this is what I got. April 27th, we had Paul Ace Frehley, guitarist for Kiss, and of course Frehley's Comet. Will Boyd, bassist for Evanescence. Martin Hagstrom, guitarist for Meshuggah. April 29th, we have Mark Kendall, guitarist for Great White. Sam Gallen, drummer for Hero and the Horror. Show now. So
yeah.
Johan Hegg, vocalist for Amon Amarth. Harry Wilkins, guitarist for Destruction from 1987 to 1990, and also that. April 30th, we had Vinny Tomas, each session and touring drummer for Montrose Sammy Hagar from 1972 to 79, Hart from 82 to 93, and then Whitesnake. So, you got to be a hell of a drummer for those bands to seek you out to go on tour and do sessions with them. That's like some of the biggest name bands of the '80s. Right?
Yep.
Then you had also on April 30th, you had Paulo Jr., bassist for Sepultura and Morbid Visions. May 1st, we had Mark Scott, drummer for Trickster. Andrew Rockhold, aka Andy Leo, vocalist for Crown the Empire. And then I didn't see anything for the second. So I got May 3rd, we got Josie Scott, vocalist for Saliva. Well, most known for that. He's not really with them anymore. But,
Right.
And then we got Bobby Blitz Ellsworth, vocalist for Overkill. You got anything that?
Nope. Nothing that you didn't have.
Well, awesome. Right, well, happy birthday to those. Anybody out there listening, happy birthday to you as well. So,
absolutely.
We'll crank this. Original Home of the Grand on Opry and Slayer. That's kind of
small world, eh?
Hey, it's the Grand Ole Opry. Welcome to the stage, Slayer.
Right.
Yeah. Minnie Pearl's like, howdy.
Yeah, right. Gets caught in the wall of death and gets that hat with the price tag knocked off her head.
You just see him out there doing like Rain of Blood or something, and she just reaches in. Howdy. Howdy.
That would have been great. Nobody would have known what the hell was going on.
That's like an AI project right now. So.
Oh yeah, there you go. There you go. Make it happen. Make it happen, Captain. All right, so we are gonna hop into the news next.
Yeah, we're just going to
have
some news, and then we'll do the show and tell. Then we'll do the tours.
All righty then. Well, for the current events for the past week, over at Metal Injection, and this was on multiple outlets for reasons you guys will hear in literally just a second. Guitarist and producer Robin George has died at 68 years old. A statement on George's website sadly confirmed that George had passed away on April 26th. We wish his friends and family all the best at this time. Quote, on Friday, 26 April 2024 at 11:45, our beautiful Robin left this world and flew away to the next life, where we hope he's partying with the family, friends, and musicians he loved and lost over the years. Robin had been fighting a long illness, but by Christmas it became obvious that he was not long for this world. He was devastated when he was no longer able to play his beloved guitars, but he continued to write songs, do interviews, make videos, and tell his story here on Facebook and through his biography. He desperately wanted his music to live on because music was in his heart and soul. Robin leaves behind his adored wife, 4 beloved children, 2 beautiful sisters, 9 lovely grandchildren, many dear friends, and the animal family that he rescued over the years. We are devastated because there will never be another Robin George. Love, power with you always. You're with your angels now. At the time of his passing, Robin was finishing off his biography, and one of the last things he was working on was a section for his friends and fans' memories and pictures to be included. This is now more poignant. Please send anything you would like to include to press@robingeorge.co.uk, end quote. George scored a hit in 1985 with the song Heartline and later played on Thin Lizzy frontman Phil Lynot's solo single 19 that same year. George was then asked to reform Thin Lizzy in 1985 by Lynott alongside founding drummer Brian Downey, though Lynott's death in early 1986 cut those plans short. Quote, Phil asked Brian Downey and I to reform Thin Lizzy, and we both agreed. We made some recordings in the studio in his back garden in the house at Q during December. It went absolutely great. Unfortunately, the cassette of our material failed to resurface after his death. It was the only copy. It was such a shame as Phil was vibed up about the new Lizzy, end quote. Other accolades for George include his producing Diamond Head's 1980 single Sweet and Innocent, as well as producing Witchfinder General's 1983 record Friends of Hell. So his music will live on forever through his own band and other bands that he had his hands on. So
yeah, hopefully they get that biography still done and that gets out there and they can kind of go, that money can kind of go into his estate and stuff. So.
Right. Yep.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. I was like, you couldn't let the guy finish his book.
Right. Yeah, I know. Yeah.
All right, my first one is over from Metal Injection. It's that time of year again. Live Nation Entertainment is set to launch their Concert Week promotional series, where you can get tickets to a bunch of great shows for $25 each. The Concert Week promo is set for May 8th through the 14th. All rock and metal tours included in Concert Week are 311, AWOL Nation and Neon Trees, Bret Michaels, Bush, Jury Cantrell and Candlebox, Creed, Three Doors Down and Finger 11, Deep Purple, Five Finger Death Punch, Marilyn Manson and Slaughter to Prevail, Hailstorm, I Prevail, Hollywood Undead and Fit for a King, Iron Maiden, Korn, Gojira and Spirit Box, Damn, is that show coming anywhere near us?
I know. I don't think that one was.
Limp Biscuit Bones, Nano Face, and Corey Feldman. That's kind of wild. Mega. You're gonna have Corey Feldman and Limp Biscuit on the same.
Mm-hmm.
Fred Durst and Corey Feldman.
That'll make for some interesting stories, I'm sure.
Then of course we got Megadeth, Mudvayne, and All That Remains, so, which is what we were talking about.
Yep.
And we might try to get to that one. Rob Zombie and Alice Cooper, the Smashing Pumpkins, Stone Temple Pilots, and Live, Sum 41, and 30 Seconds to Mars was just the ones listed here. So they usually add a few to when by the time these things go on sale. So
right.
Hopefully we'll see who else is going to be. Yes,
Yep.
yes,
Amy, the one and the same.
Corey Feldman, the actor, does music as well. So.
He does music as well, but doesn't do music well.
There you go. Yeah, that's probably a great.
From what I've heard, I mean, I wouldn't count myself as a fan. So
yeah, a lot of actors turn musicians doesn't work as well as musicians turn actors. So
right, yeah.
Everybody knows the Johnny Depp story. He went to LA
right.
to be a musician and wound up being an actor. So,
yeah, and still plays music. So
he does. Yeah, he does.
Yeah,
now
still plays music.
Hollywood Vampires.
Yep. Yeah. With Alice Cooper and Joe Perry of all people.
Yeah, right.
He could do a lot worse, Johnny Depp. So
well, yeah. Well, I mean, Joe Perry's going to need something to do when Aerosmith.
Well, that's very true. All right, moving over to the PRP for my next one. A young woman named Bird Pichet is said to have suffered a severe spinal cord injury while attending a Trophy Eyes show at Mohawk Place in Buffalo, New York this past Tuesday, April 30th. The following on her condition was revealed via this GoFundMe. Quote, Bird Pichet suffered a catastrophic spinal cord injury while attending a concert on April 30th and underwent an extensive surgery. She has a long recovery ahead and will need all the help she can get. It is still too early to know what her prognosis is, but after leaving the hospital, she will need to go to a rehab facility. She will obviously not be able to work during this time. Bird recently began running, and in the featured photo, she had placed second in her age group. We will update with details according to her comfort level. The funds will be used for medical bills and anything she may need to function in life because of the accident, end quote. The venue is said to advertise a no moshing policy, but according to fans in attendance, as well as Buffalo, New York-based 1120 Press, the incident appears to have occurred just minutes into Trophy Eyes' set. The injury allegedly transpired when the band's vocalist John Floriani jumped backwards from the stage into the audience, subsequently being surfed around atop the crowd. That dive is said to be featured in the below footage, and the show was stopped soon after. Obviously, there's a video embedded in the story. Mm-hmm. An individual on Reddit claiming to have attended the show stated, quote, my partner and I were directly beside her. As soon as we heard her say she was scared and couldn't move, we knew it wasn't good. John was clearly devastated. I am curious how this will affect the rest of the tour and if he'll come out with a statement about it, end quote. Another individual added, quote, I was in front of the sound booth. As soon as I heard her say that, my heart dropped. That moment will stick with me, wishing her the best recovery possible, end quote. A Reddit account linked to the aforementioned venue also expressed their concern on the condition of Pichet in the comments of the below Reddit post. Thus far, Trophy Eyes don't appear to have publicly commented on the matter. Ironically, just over a year ago, Trophy Eyes made headlines for their heated response in regards to online criticism received for Floriani's incitement of moshing and crowd surfing at an April 23, 2023 show in Atlanta, Georgia. The fan in question at that show complained online that they felt unsafe at the show in light of all the bodies flying around. Sadly, this is not the first time injury has struck at the Mohawk Place. Back in 2011, during a Terror and Trapped Under Ice show at the venue, a concert goer named Mike Bird, I don't know how the hell that happened. We got Mike Bird and Bird Pichet got hurt at the same damn venue, was knocked down by a stage diver. Bird suffered a broken C5 and C6 vertebrae in the accident. The incident left him requiring emergency spinal surgery. Same kind of injury, too. A resulting lawsuit over that accident put the club in jeopardy at the time. Then an update earlier today, Trophy Eyes have now issued a statement about the unfortunate accident. Quote, as the result of a tragic accident on the night of April 30th, a Trophy Eyes fan was injured at our Buffalo, New York show. We elected to immediately shut down the show as John accompanied them to the hospital with her family. Out of respect for the family, we have refrained from speaking about this publicly so far, but with the blessing of their family, we are now able to say how truly heartbroken we are to be out here now. Our friend Bird is now in recovery, but still has a long road ahead for them. A GoFundMe has been set up by their family. This situation has shaken us all to our core, and we ask for patience while we look to help Bird navigate this difficult time. Please keep Bird in your thoughts. We remain in close contact with them and will expand on this as new news arrives. Yours faithfully, Trophy Eyes, end quote. In addition to that, Trophy Eyes contributed $5,000 to the GoFundMe for Bird on, well, today, May 3rd as well. And as of right now, $28,070 raised of a $100,000 goal. And like I say, the band has already chipped in with $5,000. So donate what you can if you can.
So she got injured from the singer jumping out into the crowd?
That's what it sounds like. I haven't had a chance to actually look at the embedded video.
If
But
that's
let
the
me
case,
see.
then you need to be fully
Oh,
responsible for that.
yeah. He landed on her.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I just watched the video. He landed on her.
Yeah, so that's definitely not on the fans. I mean,
No.
it's going to wind up being back on the band because if you got a no moshing policy there, that's obviously going to be the venue's defense in the matter. So
Yeah.
the band decided to and of course if they have history of inciting that stuff, then that's not going to sit well with them either. For them either. So I hate that, dude, really, but you got to take care of your fans.
Yeah.
You imagine Jelly Roll doing that at a concert?
Good God. No, I can't.
That's me. Everybody like, whoops.
Yeah, sorry. Sorry there, Jr.
Yeah. He's not a metal dude, but I was just bringing. I couldn't think of anybody right off the bat, but him for some reason. So,
yeah.
But anyway, no matter the fact, I think that the band should be responsible for whatever they need to do at this point. $5,000's great, but if she's got $100,000 doctor bills piling up on her, I don't know, man. That's a hard one. That's a hard one to kind of swallow there. So
yeah.
We as fans go to these things and at the show we just went to the other night, Susie, there was a girl coming through. We were on the side. We was on the left side, so we was out of the pits and everything like that. But we were still, 2 or 3 from the rail. Yeah, you're right, Dana. It sounds like a lawsuit. I'm just trying to figure out who's going to be responsible for the lawsuit, though. Is it going to be the band or the venue or both? That's kind of going to be what the case is going to be. And then, honestly, if that venue's in trouble again from the sounds of it, they probably won't recover. So, which is unfortunate as well. But,
yeah, it is.
But anyway, it was like we were at the show, and then all of a sudden there's feet coming up, and Susie's freaking out because she didn't know what was happening because we were watching the show. We're not, nobody said, hey, catch this person or
right.
anything. They just passed her up, and I had my hands full of drinks and everything else. And I'm like, well, hell, I can't do nothing. So, but luckily the security was right there and kind of leaned over and grabbed her. But
well, that's good.
Still beside the point is you got to make sure people are aware that you're coming. Even if you got to hey, yell out or pat somebody or something. If we're facing this way and you're coming from behind, I can't see you.
Yeah, I've
normally that stuff you see in the middle, or in the pits, kind of the pit areas of these shows. So,
yeah, there's been a couple of times where I've been kind of up against the rail or kind of close, and the next thing I know, my head's being bent forward because I wasn't paying attention, and I didn't want because like I say, I was watching the show, and all of a sudden there's some dude just on the back of my head. So I've had that happen a couple times.
Well, I haven't. You can't enjoy the show and pay attention to what these assholes are doing too.
Yeah. Which I got nothing against crowd surfing.
No, I don't either.
Yeah, but it's just
But to keep everybody safe, you need to make the person in front of you aware that it's coming.
Yeah.
If you see it and you're 3 or 4 back, you need to say, "Hey, man, they're surfing somebody." Don't wait till they're right on top of somebody and then they fall, or get dropped. I've seen
Right.
people get dropped.
I have too. I've seen people just
It
eat
looks
it.
like they get dropped on their head too. I'm just like, oh shit.
Yeah. Yeah, I've seen it happen.
We got to take care of each other too, not only the bands. So,
Yeah, we do.
all right, here's a band we don't talk about a lot on the show, but it's metal related. So here we go. Metal Injection. After much teasing, Ghost has finally announced their new movie, Right Here, Right Now, a play on the lyrics to their hit Square Hammer, and likely a reference to Van Halen's 1993 live album, Right Here, Right Now. Which hope not, because that might be some some issues going on there too if they do that, or if they say that's where they got it without permission, especially with the state of Van Halen. So,
Right.
Right Here, Right Now combines never before seen 2023 concert footage from Ghost's two sold out shows at Los Angeles Kia Forum with a narrative story that picks up plot threads from the band's long running chapter series. Right Here, Right Now was directed by Ghost's Tobias Forge and Alex Ross Perry and will launch in cinemas globally on June 20th and 22nd only. Soundtrack to Right Here, Right Now will be released via Loma Vista's recordings. Pre order launch and additional details will come alongside the film's cinema on sale date of May 9th. Over a decade ago, when Ghost got signed to Loma Vista, Tom Wally, owner and CEO, asked what the story of the band was, said Forge. He felt, quote, he felt telling a story was vital in order to get new fans engaged. I said that because we were a new baby band, and more importantly, we were an anonymous baby band. There wasn't really a compelling story to tell, not yet, anyway. But I told him if he wanted a story, I could come up with one. The film is the fruit of that conversation. End quote. Perry added, quote, collaborating with Tobias to expand the saga of Ghost into a feature film has been a wicked delight. This movie allowed us to be inspired by everything from silent horror to the great rock and roll swindle, from Ralph Bakshi to Kiss Alive 2. The influences were many, but above all, the ultimate goal was to make a one-of-a-kind feast, not only for Ghost fans, but all lovers of the cinematic alchemy between rock spectacle and spooky delights. End quote. Right Here, Right Now was produced by Pope Corn Cinematic Pictures. Pope Corn. Okay, gotcha. That's kind
Nice.
of funny. Producers include Kristen Molderig, Rick Sales, Craig Buda, and Jonas Ackerland. So those fans, and we'll check that out in June.
Yep.
Around Father's Day, actually. So.
Yeah. Yeah. Right, a little bit before, but yeah, right. It was roughly the same time. When is Father's Day?
I don't know.
Third Sunday in June? I think it is. Something like
Papa going to do some stuff for Father's Day.
that. Yeah. All right. Staying over at the PRP for this next one. Jeff Mantis Dunn, an original guitarist for influential metal outfit Venom and later of Venom Inc., along with other outfits, has revealed he recently suffered a second heart attack. In 2018, he underwent a double bypass in Lisbon, Portugal, as a result of a heart-related incident. Speaking on social media overnight of his latest incident, he stated, quote, "And now to my news. On the morning of Wednesday, 17th April, completely out of the blue, I suffered another heart attack. 2 ambulances attended my home, and once they were satisfied that I was stable, I was taken to Abrantes UCIC, the cardiac intensive care. And I had numerous blood tests, x-ray, and cardiac ultrasound, and it was decided that I should be taken to Lisbon for an angiogram when a slot became available to determine cause and possible further damage. The outcome of the angiogram revealed that my double bypass was functioning well. However, 2 further valves were compromised and approaching complete failure, and the decision was made immediately to introduce 2 stents, which they did there and then. The whole procedure was done through my left wrist and under local anesthetic. Oh my God. Local anesthetic in your wrist, and they're going to do stuff in your heart? Bag that shit. May I take this opportunity to thank the cardiology doctors and nursing staff of both Abrantes and Lisbon for their superb care and attention. I am now recovering at home. I must now inform you that for the foreseeable future, I will not be performing live with Venom Inc. at any immediate upcoming events. I will, of course, continue to make music. It's my therapy, and I will more than likely annoy you all with it in the not-too-distant future. Once again, each and every one of you has my eternal gratitude. Much love and respect, Jeff." It has undoubtedly been a stressful time for the 63-year-old musician as he went public with his wife's ongoing cancer battle back in August of 2023. So, here's to a speedy recovery, Jeff.
Yeah. guess the status of Venom Inc. could be kind of on halt until they figure
Yeah,
out,
I would say.
unless they're going to replace him. Have a good one, Dana.
Take care, bud.
Yeah, Dana also said he's 50 years old and still crowd surfs. That's
Hey, there you go.
because he's $1.50 wet. That's why. uh, so,
Shots fired.
I'm just. But I mean, he's a smaller guy. I can't imagine nobody's gonna crowd surf my 260-pound ass. I can see myself now. Hey man, they were,
Right.
and plus I would probably fall. So. This one over from Metal Sucks. This one's kind of this one's really interesting. It's kind of like we still kind of don't know the status of everything going on with this one. So he may have spoken out of turn about the future of Lincoln Park a couple weeks ago, but it's looking more and more like Orgy frontman Jay Gordon was right on the money when he said the popular new metal band was considering a female singer to stand in for the late Chester Bennington. At least that's what several sources are telling Billboard. According to a report from the major music industry magazine, booking agency WME is currently working with Linkin Park members Mike Shinoda, Brad Delson, and Dave Farrell to shop around any interest for a potential reunion tour for 2025. Not only would such a reunion come with the headlining festival dates, but those same sources apparently confirmed that such a reunion would feature a woman taking Bennington's place, though there's no indication as to who they're considering for the spot. You may remember that all this falls in line with what Gordon said at the end of March during an appearance on Mike Z's Wired in the Empire for KCAL 96.7. Quote, very, very cool guys and obviously a great band. They've been around a long time and they're still going for it. It's going to be tough without Chester, but we'll see. I hear they got a girl singer now. That's what I heard. End quote. At the time, it was seen as a massive oopsie daisy, an industry term, I assure you. That didn't take long for Gordon to walk back by claiming his statement was taken out of context. Despite there being video of him saying the thing verbatim with all the context in the world. Couple all that with the fact that Evanescence Amy Lee felt compelled to shoot down rumors that she was the woman involved in Linkin Park's potential reunion run, and you've got a whole hell of a lot of smoke that might just lead to a big reunion-sized fire. Despite all this, Shinoda was recently asked about a potential reunion by Revolver, and he was pretty adamant about that people will just have to wait and see if anything happens in the future. Quote, rumors always go around. People always ask what's next for the band, and the best answer I can give is anybody is when there's something to tell you, we will tell you.
Right.
When there's an announcement to be made, it will be on LinkinPark.com. If you're hearing it from somebody else, you can trust that information as much as you want to trust it. Quote. So, according to Mike Shinoda, it's still kind of a work in progress on what their plans are. So, honestly, they probably already know. They just
I'm sure they do.
I mean, what's the point? First off, they got to get gigs lined up before they just start going out and announcing.
Well, of course. I mean, there's got to be
reasons for announcing anything.
Yeah, there's got to be T's crossed and lowercase J's dotted and all that stuff. So, So yeah, I'm sure they got to take care of the logistics of everything. So yeah, but I mean, it'll be interesting. I where there's smoke, there's fire. I bet it happens.
Oh yeah,
yeah. I would bet money that it happens.
Yeah. Not sure who's going to be the singer, but
well, yeah, I'm not going to bet on that, but I almost guarantee a reunion tour happens. All right, going over to Blabbermouth for this next one. I Prevail vocalist Brian Berkheiser has opened up about the long-standing medical issue which has forced him to sit out at an upcoming run of the band's tour dates. Berkheiser will miss I Prevail's shows in Milwaukee, Wisconsin on the 3rd, which is tonight, of course, and St. Paul, Minnesota, which is tomorrow, as well as the group's European tour, which is scheduled to kick off on May 10th. Guitarist and backing singer Dylan Bowman will join co-vocalist Eric Vanlerberg in handling Berkheiser's parts. In an Instagram post, a 31-year-old Berkheiser shared several post-surgery photos of him in the hospital, and he included the following message. Quote, I recently underwent multiple surgeries for a rare disease called Eagle syndrome. It pains me to do this, but unfortunately I'll have to miss the next month of shows as the recovery process continues. Initially, I thought I could push through the pain, but my body and mind just need more time to heal. If I'm being honest, this disease has broken me over the last few years. I knew something was wrong dating all the way back to 2018, and it wasn't until recently that I officially figured out the problem. I've pushed myself through multiple tour cycles, trying my best to keep a positive spirit, but as the days passed by, the negativity and pain grew. I could write a book with the list of symptoms that come with this disease. Sadly, Eagle syndrome isn't known by many, and it's a very silent killer. Most I've talked to with it are suicidal, feel like a burden to those around them, and have trouble doing the simplest tasks. I have felt many of those feelings, but now I'm on a mission to help spread awareness and be a voice for those who suffer. Thanks to Dr. Ryan Osborne and his team for empowering me and showing me that I can get my life back, get back the life I've always wanted. He is truly one of the best men I've ever met. For those going on upcoming shows, I promise you that the other dudes are going to crush this tour. Please go sing your hearts out and support them. I'm incredibly proud of Dylan and Eric stepping up and taking over for me while I'm gone. You guys are in for a special show. Love you all, and I'll see you this summer. End quote. According to medical news today, Eagle syndrome is a form of nerve pain that causes people to experience a dull, throbbing ache around the face and throat. Burkheiser is expected to rejoin his I Prevail bandmates in time for their July 2024 U.S. tour with Hailstorm. I Prevail's latest album, True Power, was released in 2022 via Fearless Records. It was followed by a sold-out 2-leg tour across the U.S. and Canada. So there you go. It must be tough to just be in constant pain, whether it's dull or sharp or whatever, especially right around here, and especially being a freaking singer.
That's what I was about to say. Being a vocalist and hurting in the face and neck is not a good combination. So, hopefully he's on the right track to recovery and can get out there and like he wants to in the summer. So that's good thing that they have a backup plan in case he can't.
Right.
That's the main thing. So his health's more important than going out here.
Of course.
I'll say that. A lot of fans are kind of selfish when it comes to that kind of thing.
Of course they are.
But I'm like the person where, for some reason, this recent WWE thing just popped in my head talking about this. But it's like you know what you're into. You know your body, so don't go out there and risk further injury just because you think that you owe people anything. The band can still go on and perform without you.
Yeah.
Not saying that's as a negative thing. It's like they have a backup plan.
Yeah.
Are they, is it going to be the same show? No, it's not, because Brian's a big part of that dual vocals power that I Prevail puts out. So you can't, like I said, it's going to be good because you're still going to have Eric doing his part, but with Brian,
it'll just be something unique. It'll be a unique experience.
Honestly, I think that's cool in a way, because sometimes it's cool to get the uniqueness out of shows. It's like, at some point I remember being at a show and I can't even remember where it was or who it was, but I remember like some other band member come out and filled in for the one missing. I was just like, oh, this is cool as shit, like
yeah.
But I've seen that a lot, honestly. So, so it's pretty cool.
And what I like is, more often than not, in a situation like this where there's a medical issue, you don't see tours get canceled for something like that too often. More often than not, these bands have friends and other bands that they've gone on tour with and they've developed relationships with, where somebody is willing to come in and help another band out. And I think that's fantastic. More often than not, unless it's something major health wise, like a death or like a brand new diagnosis with cancer or something like that. More often than not, what we see is when tours are canceled completely, especially here lately in the last 3-4 years, it's usually because of, circumstances beyond our control. It ends up being something logistical.
Right.
So that's what's cool, is musicians helping other musicians out, backing each other up.
Mm-hmm. We were kind of talking about that with that Hellraising band. It's like we got to be a community and push each other and help each other. So if we're not, then we're not, just like we're doing our part. We're not getting paid to do this. We do this we enjoy metal music and we want to do our part in getting some of these bands in front of new listeners. So, I mean,
Yep.
that's that's the whole goal. So I mean,
Yep.
if we're not doing that, then or if we're not putting, we're not letting you know about the shows, then you can't go to the shows and support these guys. Then that's on us. I mean, we prided ourselves in doing these things for you guys. So, so it's all got to be a family and a community effort.
Yep.
Nope, we can't do it. One person can't do it.
Mm-mm.
This is one of my favorite things. One person can't do it all, but one person can make a difference. I always love that saying.
It's a good saying.
But kind of to go back what I was talking about with, I don't know if you've seen where JD McDonough got popped by Jake Paul. With
He did. Jesus, he got hit hard.
And he's like raising hell about it's unsafe to have me go out and work. Like, bitch, shit happens. But you're in a full contact sport. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Like, give me your contract. I'll go out there and take 3 rings to the face and go out there and work later. Shit.
Mm-hmm.
Shit. Ain't like I ain't done shit before. Like, I worked matches with busted eardrums and torn ACLs and finished matches, 5-10 minutes after the fact that I was injured. So I mean,
I know of 2 instances right off the top of my head of 2 guys in the NHL who have literally had their heart stop on the bench as soon as they were revived. Like, can I go back in the game? No, you can't. No, you can't.
The guy that got his jugular cut that time,
Oh, well, that was completely. That actually wasn't what I was talking about. But yeah, that guy. But that guy was actually back on the ice within 2 weeks.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like these guys are athletes, man.
Yes,
you're in a full contact sport. You got to expect shit to happen. It's going to happen. And unfortunately, sorry, dude, it happened to you. But I mean, you're booked for a match. I mean, of course, card is subject to change, but at this point, with the status of the Judgment Day, you got one in a sling and the leader gone. So I mean, it's like who else you going to put in the match? It's like you ain't got much of a choice, dude. You go out there and do limited shit and get paid. Well, I can tell you. So.
Right. Yeah.
All right, back on track here. that kind of got me thinking. It's like, man, people have, you got people that get hurt and want to keep going, and you got people that get hurt and be like, oh, I just want to quit.
Or you got people like LeBron James who all they do is act like they're hurt.
Oh God. Well,
that's right. That's right. I said it. It.
He thinks he's a good actor, but obviously he's never. I don't know if he watched the same Space Jam that we watched. But
oh, I still haven't seen that. I haven't seen the new one.
I didn't watch much of that bullshit. I'm just like, this is fucking horrible.
And MJ did a good enough job with the first one. I would just rather watch that one again for him and Bill Murray at the end.
Well, I mean, the whole thing is like you're trying to push somebody into a comparison with somebody else that's not a comparison.
Yeah,
that's the whole thing with that whole situation. It's like, to me, you got multiple guys out there that I think is better than LeBron James. I mean, Kobe Bryant for one. I mean, you can go back, Larry Bird. I mean, you can go back years, and with that kind of stuff. Wilkinson and all those guys, man. Like who was it? Was it Wilkinson that had all those records? Like he's still got records that haven't been broke, I think. So it's like, wow, man. Like you can't go out there and say you're the best when you're not doing.
Yeah,
you're building super teams for yourself, and you still can't win. So
yeah,
obviously you're not.
And I know. Yeah, and everyone's talking about how he scored the most points ever, dude. He came into the NBA at 18, and he's 39 now. He's been playing for 21 years.
He didn't even go to college, dude. He went straight from high school.
Yeah, no. So I mean, to me, it's kind of the same. And I'm going to cut this short because this could go long. I will cut this short, but for me, it's the same kind of argument as like Wayne Gretzky. You can't argue with the fact that Wayne Gretzky has scored the most points in NHL history because the math doesn't lie. But in my opinion, he's not the greatest player ever. And like I say, I'm not going to get into why, but that's just my opinion. But I won't argue with the numbers that he put up. I'm just going to leave it there just so it doesn't. Because like I say, this could go way, way, way sideways. So.
All right. Well, let's reel it back in a little bit here.
Yeah.
over for Blabbermouth. This is my last one. Pagan Records and Monomaniacs will release the English language edition of From Hades to Valhalla, Bathory, the Epic Story, the unofficial biography of one of the most influential metal bands of all time. Written by renowned metal journalist Jose Luis Cano Baron, this comprehensive tome delves into the band's illustrious career, offering an uncensored and carefully researched account of its groundbreaking music and enduring legacy. From Hades to Valhalla Bathory, the epic story will be available from May 29th and can be pre-ordered via Pagan Record Shear. Oh, Records Here. They put it all together.
Oh, I hate when they do. Yeah, that's bad editing right there.
Just space there. Spacebar. Originally published in Spanish, From Hades to Valhalla Bathory, the epic story. We're gonna count this now. Was it 1, 2, 3 already?
Oh man, I wasn't paying attention.
It's been translated into English, making this essential work accessible to a wider audience. With 156 vibrant pages packed with rare photographs, illustrations, and reproductions, the book chronicles Bathory's journey from their early black metal roots to their Viking metal mastery, painting a vivid portrait of a band that defined categorization and shaped the very sound of black and extreme metal. From Hades to Valhalla, Bathory, the epic story.
Damn it, that's at least 3 that I know of.
That's 4.
4. Okay, all right, I'm gonna count.
Goes beyond mere biography, offering a deep analysis of Bathory's music and its impact on the metal scene. Cano Baron draws up on his extensive knowledge and insider access to provide insights into the creative genius of Bathory's enigmatic leader, Orthon. From Hades to Valhalla, Bathory, the epic story is an essential addition to the library of any metal fan. With its captivating narrative, wealth of historic detail, and stunning visuals, the book offers a unique and immersive exploration of one of the metal's most revered bands. So 5 times in that little bit of story. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Hey, I need you to do me a story. It needs to be 300 words. Oh, shit.
Right. How many times can we put the title in there?
I'm like 12 short. What am I going to do? Oh, yeah, we just put it there 2 more times.
Yeah.
But
that'd probably be interesting.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be interesting. It's cool they translated it into English too.
Yeah, most definitely. Like a lot of times I want to listen to a lot of this stuff, and I even try to listen because we do have a couple of bands that we listen to regardless of language. I mean, of course, Rammstein and
Null Positive,
and bands like that. So whenever I see these on here, and there was a few this week, but I couldn't get anything out of it as far as like even try to be relatable to it on a compositional setting. So if you kind of relate on a compositional setting, then you can kind of overlook the lack of lyrics. So
sure,
or the lack of understanding of the lyrics, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, you can kind of get past that if
But those 2 bands do make me want to learn German. So
they really do. Yeah, they do.
There's a couple of videos on YouTube where they translate null positives to English. So that's pretty cool.
Oh, okay, yeah, nice. All right, I'm going over to Metal Sucks for my last one, and I am going to I'm going to share this because this kind of needs to be. This is one of those things where, shit. All right, hang on. There we go. All right, I'm going to share this because this kind of goes along with it. So yeah. All right.
Oh yeah.
Sometimes it's just hilarious to see people fuck around and immediately find out, especially when they go around trying to steal art from one of the biggest heavy metal bands on the planet. Such is the case for rapper Osama-san and his brilliant idea to straight up rip off Iron Maiden's iconic mascot Eddie. As you can see from the image above, there's no way you can claim something like parody or fair use for what that rapper wanted to use for the cover of his Flextra album, since it pretty much looks like a Photoshop version of the Power Slave cover art. Just a quick comparison side by side will show that the images are almost identical in content, with just a few details like the fake Eddie's smile and added dreadlocks poking out of the mummy wraps. Hell, they didn't even try to hide the exact same lighting patterns in the background. It literally just looks like they did a color swap, and that was it. As a result of all this, the rapper took to social media announcing that he was being rightfully sued by Iron Maiden and that the cover art would be changing. It's one thing to rip off cattle decapitation, but try something like that with a band as big as Maiden is just silly. Of course, they've got money to make to take. They've got the money to take your ass to court. And I mean, this isn't the first. This is like not the first time we've talked about stuff like that. But I mean, this is like of all the instances we've talked about, or there being like a copyright
If you look at
thing.
the
I mean,
with the lightning and stuff in the back, I mean, you still see kind of where that is like still kind of there. I mean,
yeah.
it's not like lightning, but there's still lines there where the lightning was at. I mean, it's like
Yeah,
you
well, I mean, well, if you look at, well, like I'm pointing at it, but like if you look at the very very top, if you look at the lightning bolt coming straight down behind the
right,
head, it's the
exactly,
exact same lightning bolt.
yeah. So
I mean,
I
the
mean,
fists are still in the same place. The wrappings are still going in the same direction. The shadow right here, it's all the same. The chains are everything is the same. The only thing that's different, like the story said, they added some dreadlocks poking out. I mean,
so
the
the
every
thing,
the
the
tape is
thing,
still the two pieces of tape, the two wraps are still the same, the eyes are still the same, the I mean everything.
yeah,
It's ridiculous.
the thing I will say this is the rapper probably didn't know anything about what they do with the artwork. They probably just showed it to him and said, "Check it." He's, "Oh, that looks cool," and then just went with it. He probably didn't even know.
That might be the only benefit of the doubt I give him, is that it may have been somebody, on his team. But I mean, if that's the case, I mean,
Well, I
you
mean,
fired. Yeah,
as,
you're fired.
as, as yeah, but as an artist, you have to know these things. You have to be cognitive of other bands and covers and stuff. I mean, we already know how it is. It's like
hmm
you could have took some kind of similarity from that, and maybe took the mummy wrapping off of it altogether or something. Well, I mean, you could even have done that because I mean it's Eddie. So I mean that's a trademark of Iron Maiden. So I mean
Yeah.
you gotta like go above and beyond to hide. I mean, I don't know how you would hide that
Yeah.
honestly. You
Or
probably
or
just need to do
or
something different.
yeah. Or here's what you could do: ask,
That's true too. Yeah.
ask.
Say, hey man, we want to use a version of that, but not exactly like it. Can we do that? And, but, being Bruce is kind of depends on what day you catch him in, probably.
That's true.
But like man, fuck you.
Yeah.
Or
But that's the thing. I mean, just ask.
well, I mean, the thing is like it's just like when we get people to come on the show. You can say no. It's fine. Like I understand. It's a band. You're busy. You're doing things.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be mad because somebody's not going to come on this show. I'm not going to
Yeah.
be
No,
like,
I mean,
I've been told many a times on here that I mean, we just got told a while back that hey, we don't have that kind of we don't have the system to do podcasting and stuff yet. So
yeah,
and he said yet. So I mean, obviously
sure.
there's something that they want to do at some point, maybe, but you know, it is what it is. Like it's not like I said. This isn't to benefit us entirely. This is also benefit bands that we talk to. So
But
so
we're both adults. I mean, if
yeah,
nobody wants to accept, if people don't want to accept the invitation, they don't have to. It's fine.
and honestly, I would probably say the majority of no's and yeses we got is probably 50-50, I would have said. So I mean, we've probably been told no as many times as we've been told yes.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll reach out. I'll be like, hey man, you know, I've actually it's too late to get him on the show now because they're on tour. But I'd already reached out to Martin and said, hey man, you want to come on the show before you hit tour and talk about the new album or anything? You're welcome to do that. And he kind of left me on red and didn't respond. But I mean, like I said, I follow him on stuff, so I know he's
Me
busy.
too. Yeah, me too.
I know he's busy. I'm not mad at him like at all.
Mm.
Because, I mean, he's already been nice enough to come on the show twice. I mean,
Yep.
when you can't really ask much more. I just knew he had a new album. I would like to hear the process of them recording it. I mean, that's just kind of what I wanted to talk to him about. And at some point, maybe we can. Who knows?
Yeah.
There's a he's in Nashville too, so I mean, maybe there'll
Yeah.
be an area of opportunity where he's in between gigs and tours, and we'll actually get to talk to him. So
Yeah. And the cool thing is like, we follow him on Instagram, and I think it was earlier this week or late last week, the entire band was in Nashville getting ready to fly out. He posted a picture of all six of them at BNA. So
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah. Yeah. But like I said, you get those things, and like I said, it doesn't bother me. I understand it's all it's not like I'm gonna go throw a bitch fit and throw the band under a bus because they didn't come
no,
on, because they didn't come on the fucking show. It's like,
yeah,
yeah,
because there's one band that I really, really, really want to get on the show, and I can't, and I for
I,
whatever
it
for
probably
whatever
is at this point,
at this point probably not, but you know,
especially,
tried,
the popularity growing every time they do anything. So
yeah. So tried really hard, and
yeah,
it just didn't work out.
it,
Not to say that it never will, but
yeah. I mean, if something comes up, and we'll try again or something maybe.
yep, sure enough.
All right. I don't have a lot of headlines because there wasn't a lot going on this week, I don't think. So,
Yeah, and that's fine.
other headlines I did have was Keith Wallen on the next Breaking Benjamin album says we've got a few songs recorded, done, and in the can. So that's good news. I mean, them being that far into recording, that may be a 2024 release.
Right, that's like a perfect example of what you were talking about earlier.
Dave Grohl dedicates "My Hero" to Dimebag Darrell at a Foo Fighters concert in Dallas.
That was cool as hell.
Yeah. There was actually a video of that, but I didn't write it down here.
Yeah, like we said before, like especially me personally, I don't really care for Foo Fighters music either way. I mean, I don't like dislike it, but I don't go out of my way to listen to it. But Dave Grohl as a person is like top notch, man.
Yeah, he's a good dude.
Yeah, he is.
Wolfgang Van Halen says telling his story on Behind the Music was incredibly cathartic. I didn't even know they were still doing Behind the
I
Music.
didn't either.
So I guess they started it back up. I think we did a story about they were talking about that, but I never got confirmation that they were actually going to do it. So
May have to look into that and see if because I mean I don't really, like I say, I don't really listen to Mammoth WVH,
I
but
mean, I don't either, but it'd still be cool to hear because I mean there's stories about Eddie and stuff on there. I'm sure.
sure, yeah, yeah. But I mean, it would be interesting to see if any other metal acts have been on it. So may have to look into that.
Oh yeah, you know what? They did say they were going to do something like that, didn't they?
I don't remember. I honestly don't remember.
I remember there was something like Brett Michaels and somebody was going to be involved in some of that, and there's like some other yeah.
Oh wait, that actually does sound vaguely familiar now that you mentioned Brett Michaels' name.
Now that I think about it,
Shit, you might be right.
Yeah, we'll look into it. New Cradle of Fifth album to arrive around March of 2025. So there we go, talking about March 20. Already talking about 2025 releases. So Richie Blackmore pays tribute to Dwayne Eddy. Said he will always be my number one inspiration. It's a pretty big compliment there from Richie Blackmore. So, former Guns N' Roses guitarist Gilby Clarke is selling his gear via Reverb. So if you want to get some pawn shop guitars, you can go over there. Some of y'all know. Testament is recording their new album. It is happening. That's kind of what I was talking about earlier in the show.
Yep. Yep.
So, like I said, at this point, if they're starting to record, you're probably looking at early 25. Probably.
Yeah.
Nightwish.
I will be here for it.
Yeah. Nightwish announces new album Yesterwind for September, so they're releasing theirs early, later on this year. So that's cool.
That'll be good. Wolfgang
Van Halen reveals that Eddie Van Halen was into Meshuggah, which is interesting. So I guess he was trying to keep up with Thomas's
You're right. If anyone could, it was Eddie.
Yeah. So we always said he was a heavy metal guitarist in a rock band. So I mean,
yep. No. Actually, I was actually talking about that very thing at work just today. That very thing.
John Petrucci done recording guitars for the new Dream Theater album, so that, his part's in the bag. So that's saying stuff like that. You probably you might get a 2024 release out of that. Possible.
I don't know. It all depends. It would all depend on what Dream Theater wants to do. If they want to like milk the anticipation with Mike Portnoy coming back, it kind of all depends on which way they want to go with it.
True. then of course if well, I would say whether they get James LeBrie to sound good or not, but that's impossible. I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
James LeBrie does get a lot of shit for that, but "Pull Me Under" is still a great song. I don't care. Uh, Slipknot have officially named Eloy Casagrande as their new drummer. If you don't know that, he was formerly with Sepultura.
Yeah, it was a horribly kept secret.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't well done.
Yeah. It wasn't like a surprise.
Not really.
I mean, everybody already thought that's what happened because all of a sudden Sepultura had a new drummer and they had just announced their last tour. This is their final touring.
Mm-hmm.
Why would you replace a drummer on your final touring? It's like that's kind of weird. And then the next thing you know, Slipknot's got a new drummer with a mask on. Like, interesting. The timeline just was there. You know what I mean? Sometimes you just detective work and put two and two together.
Well, the funny thing is, it's like when they replaced a couple members not a few years back. Everyone's got tattoos now, and like I remember the first picture that they posted of Eloy playing, before the announcement was made official. He's wearing a short sleeve, because they wear jumpsuits on stage. He's wearing a short sleeve jumpsuit, and you can see all of his tattoos. He's got a mask on, you can't see his face, but you can see all his tattoos. It's like, duh, I mean, you're not trying to keep a good secret very well when you got all your tattoos hanging out.
Yeah.
Any Google image search, like, yep, we know who you are.
Yeah, it's not like being a 6 foot tall white male with dark hair and brown eyes, and you just did something. It's like, oh, you're looking for a 6 foot tall white male with brown hair and brown eyes. Like, oh, well, that narrows it down.
Yeah, really, yeah.
Or or I'm looking for a 5'11" black guy wearing wearing a belt. I mean, that's what I mean. It's kind of like it's kind of like what they're saying is like well, don't they? They all wear a belt. I mean, not where they're supposed to.
Well, that's neither here nor there.
That's just a joke. I'm just kidding. Anyway, but I'm just saying, like, you can't narrow anything down by just saying stuff like that. Like you have to call out tattoos or some color shirt or jeans. I mean, wearing jeans and a black shirt. What well, if you're in a metal concert and you say, oh, I'm looking for a there's 300,000 people here at a festival. I'm looking for a 6 foot tall white male with brown hair, brown eyes, wearing a black shirt and blue jeans. Okay,
that's it.
There's like 50,000 people that's here.
That's everybody. Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty crazy.
So I mean, like you said though, if you got sleeves and stuff, and you're like, oh, well, I know those tattoos.
So, exactly.
It's like it's like if CM Punk wrestled with no shirt and a mask on. Well, fuck, man, who the hell else has got a Pepsi tattoo? Like,
yeah, yeah.
Or
when they did that Mr. America shit with Hulk Hogan.
Yeah.
And he did that freaking lie detector test. Oh shit, that was so funny. And he passed the lie detector test, and Vince McMahon was so pissed.
I forgot about that.
It was so funny.
All right, I guess we'll do a little show and tell before we do hitting the road, because I know there was some hitting the road stuff. Actually, I only have one, but there was another one I wanted to find. Hopefully, you got it, because I couldn't find it when I went back to try to find it on sources. I'm like, okay, where did that go? I wanted to talk about it, but
I've got a little more than 3 pages, so hopefully it's in there.
I only got the one hitting the road, but we'll do this real quick and
cool.
What did you got today? So.
Okay, all right. Now I'm going to show it to you, and you're going to be like, "What the hell?" All right, it's this hat.
Oh, I remember you telling me this. Yeah.
Now the hat by itself has nothing to do with heavy metal, of course, naturally, but it's got a story behind it. Valentine's Day weekend of 2012. I think the exact date was the 15th, because it was the whole weekend we spent in Nashville, Angela and I, for Valentine's Day, and because Slipknot was in town. It was Slipknot, Trivium, and Coheed and Cambria at, I don't know what the hell the venue was called at the time. It's Bridgestone now. It may have been Gaylord Entertainment Center at the time. I don't remember what the name of the venue was. Anyway, Angela and I were down front along the barricade, I had this hat on. Now, if you don't know, this is the Detroit Red Wings. This is the hockey team that I have been rooting for my whole life, being from Michigan. The Bridgestone Arena is the current home of the Nashville Predators. At the time, they were in the same division. I was wearing this hat. I was basically wearing this hat in enemy territory. I had it on backwards. I was wearing it backwards in the pit. In the pit up against the barricade. I was wearing the hat backwards. Some asshole grabbed it off my head and chucked it on stage. Now, when it landed on stage, it was in between Coheed and Cambria and Trivium's set. And threw it on stage. I could see where it landed. Trivium comes out. They play their set. Cool thing is, during the set, Cody Boileau picks it up, puts the hat on, playing the guitar, takes the hat, throws it down. Matt Heafy picks it up, puts it on his head, plays the guitar, throws it back down. In between sets, I got the attention of one of the security guards. I said, some asshole threw my hat on stage. It's right there. Can you please grab it? He grabbed it for me, gave it back to me. 2 members of Trivium have worn this hat in front of God knows how many Nashville Predator fans in their home arena. There you go.
Take that, Kevin.
That's right. So that's my heavy metal story for my Detroit Red Wings hat. So
that is a cool story too, by the way. So, I don't really have a story, but I do have this to show and tell. I don't think I've showed this before. I got this at Christmas time. I don't think I showed this. This is a machine head of Kingdom and Crown. It's a box. It's a box set here. No.
Oh hell, you didn't even show that to me.
Yeah, we'll see. Now we're all seeing something for the first
time. Nice.
So inside it does have the album of Kingdom and Crown, of course.
Yeah.
And it does have let's see. It's got an acoustic set of Arrows and Words from the Sky on it. That's not on the CD, I think.
No, I don't think it was originally when it was released. I don't believe.
So I think that's the only difference. It's got this cool. I don't know. I guess kind of your record protector thing.
Oh yeah.
So it's got that cool thing there, which is of course the machine head, the logos and stuff there. It's got. I'm not going to pull them all out, but it's got 4 posters with it.
Right. And don't unfold them either.
No. I'm not messing with any of this. This is like the first time I've touched it, honestly. Well, I mean, not to touch it, but I mean, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So the CD is a little different than what we got. So this is the CD, and it's a booklet. So it's got the each song in here, of course.
Oh, now see, that's cool as hell.
Yeah, and then of course the CD's in the back there, but it's got the it's like a lyric book, and it's a hard
I was just about to ask that. That's cool as hell.
And then it come with this cool little pin here, so which my wife keeps saying, "Oh, you need to put that on your vest." I said, "Fuck, I'm not."
I was
shit.
I was just gonna say that, but yeah, with what would suck is if you put that on and it gets like knocked off and you don't even realize that you leave the venue like, where the hell's my pin? So yeah.
I don't like to put pins on my stuff. But yeah, so that was my little show.
That's cool. Yeah, I hadn't even seen that yet. That's neat.
So, of course, everything's still wrapped up because I actually have the CD already, so it's kind of in one of my cars.
Mm-hmm.
One of the cars that still has a CD player. So. But yeah,
yeah, those are. I don't even know if you can get those in anything anymore.
I asked for it. Honestly, with the new car, I said, "Hey, can you put a CD player in it?" And they just laughed at me. I'm like, "What you laughing at me for?" Like, I'm serious, dude. Like, I damn CD player in this fucking shit.
Yeah.
But I say I almost felt like Cedric the Entertainer in that one movie. Was it Johnson's Family Vacation? I think it was. Where he's like, "Did you put the 8-track in there?" And that Cadillac and his Escalade. He's like, "Did you put the 8-track in there?"
No, they did not.
Any like and I remember like sometime in the movie he broke down his cousin, which he played that part too, was his cousin Earl, and his cousin Earl's like, "Oh, you ain't even got an 8-track in this thing." I was like, "Damn." That's pretty. But
that's
anyway,
good shit.
that's yeah, I miss CD player. I do too, Amy. Yeah, I miss CD player. luckily, I still have two that have CD players. I just don't get to drive them as much because I'm usually only in the car to go to Nashville. So,
Yeah.
hopefully, start driving the one a little bit more for too long because I got to keep some miles off this new car for sure. So,
Mm-hmm.
so that's, I mean, like I said, I got a lot, me and you both, I'm sure, got a lot of stuff to do this with. So,
You honestly, you probably have a little more than me, but yeah, we can.
well, I mean, as far
I'm
as like
sure we can do it a few times.
stuff, I mean, like I'd really like to. I got some old concert tickets somewhere. I'd really like to get a hold of that.
I
I got them in a tin somewhere. I need to
I
find them.
do I do too. I've got them somewhere. I would
That'd
have to find them, but I do have some.
be kind of cool to come across those at some point. So, you know, I'll probably have to do a garage clean, never find them. But yeah,
Honest-
we'll try to do this every so often, just to
yeah,
kind of do a little something different and show some cool stuff that you may or
yeah.
may not have seen. So, or
Mhm.
maybe some of you guys have the same thing. That'd be cool too. So, all right. Anyway, we'll go into hitting the road. And like I said, I only have the one thing. I had the Testament Creator and Possessed North American tour. It's kicking
Yeah.
off in Reno, Nevada on September 12th at the Grand Sierra Resort and ends on October 27th in San Francisco, California at the Warfield. Unfortunately, that's not going nowhere near us.
No, it is not, and that sucks.
Or is it? Does it have an Atlanta date? I can't remember.
I think it. I think it might. Shit, I can't remember. It might. If it does, that is the absolute closest show.
Yeah. I think it's the. I think it may be the Tabernacle. I'll look while you're.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I've got all the rest. So for the week of the 27th through the 3rd, starting off at the prp.com as always, Polaris, Ocean Grove, Inertia, and Bloom are going to Australia starting June 27th, and Cairns at the Jack finishing July 14th, and Albury at Beer Deluxe. Then Cradle of Filth is going to be busy the rest of the year. They've got some European dates with Butcher Babies and Ignia appearing at select dates, starting June 20th in Copenhagen, Denmark at Copenhagen, finishing August 16th in Dinkelsbühl, Germany at Summer Breeze Festival. Then they're going to be going to Australia with Infected Rain, starting September 24th in Perth at Metropolis Fremantle, finishing September 29th in Brisbane at the Triffid. Then there's UK dates with Butcher Babies and High Parasite, starting October 27th in Bristol, England at the O2 Academy, finishing November 8th in Newcastle, England at NX. And then there are European dates with don't say, I said Busher twice now, Butcher Babies and Mental Cruelty, starting November 13th in Hamburg, Germany at the O2 Market Hall, finishing December 7th in Liège, Belgium at OM. So Cradle of Filth has got a busy, remainder of the year coming up.
While you're in between, I just want to. They do have a date, and it is at the Tabernacle in Atlanta.
That's a cool venue.
October 13th. So
Okay, but yeah, that is a cool venue, the Tabernacle.
there's so many concerts in October this year.
October 13th is a Sunday.
Killing me, Smalls.
Yeah. All right, Animals as Leaders is going on a 10th anniversary North American tour for their album The Joy of Motion. Pliny will be supporting starting October 29th in San Francisco at the Fillmore, finishing November 30th in LA at the United Theater on Broadway. Slipknot, Knock Loose, Orbit Culture, and Vended select dates on varying lineups. Their North American tour starts May 12th in Daytona Beach, Florida at Welcome to Rockville, finishing September 21st in Des Moines in Des Moines, Iowa at Knotfest, Iowa at Waterworks Park. Then their international dates start October 19th in Sao Paulo, Brazil at Knotfest, Brazil, finishing December 21st in London, England at the O2. Baroness, Red Fang, Portrayal of Guilt, Gozu, Ruby the Hatchet, and Filth is Eternal are going on a U.S. tour, varying lineups, starting May 13th in Winston-Salem, North Carolina at the Ramcat, finishing June 30th in Stroudsburg, PA at the Sherman Theater. They'll be in Nashville on June 18th at the Basement East with Portrayal of Guilt and Filth is Eternal. The Amity Affliction is going on a 10th anniversary Australian tour for their Let the Ocean Take Me, the 10th anniversary for that, with Ice Nine Kills, We Came as Romans, and Heaven's Gate, starting November 8th in Brisbane at River Stage, finishing November 16th in Perth at Red Hill Auditorium. I Hate God and Goat Whore are going to the UK and Ireland, starting December 6th in Glasgow, Scotland at Slave, finishing December 21st in Dublin, Ireland at Grand Social. Veil of Maya, Signs of the Swarm, Varials, and To the Grave are going to Europe and to the UK starting October 24th rather, in Ghent, Belgium at China Strat, finishing November 25th in Haarlem, Netherlands at the Petronaut. Marilyn Manson has announced a trio of summer headlining shows. August 3rd in Silver Spring, Maryland at the Fillmore featuring Slaughter to Prevail. August 17th in Chicago at Byline Bank Aragon Ballroom featuring The Funeral Portrait, and September 1st in Reno, Nevada at the Grand Theater at Grand Sierra Resort and Casino featuring Slaughter to Prevail and The Funeral Portrait.
Yeah, the Marilyn Manson tour is called "I've Lost 2 out of 3," which isn't bad.
Right, yeah. Then Marilyn Manson will be with Five Finger Death Punch and Slaughter to Prevail on their North American tour starting August 2nd in Hershey, Pennsylvania at the Hershey Park Stadium. Finishing September 19th in Houston, Texas at the Cynthia Woods Mitchell Pavilion. They will be in Nashville on August 14th at Bridgestone Arena. Sleep Token and Bill Murray are going on not Bill Murray, are going on a fall European tour starting, of course, he might show up. Bill Murray just shows up anywhere.
Yeah.
Starting November 9th in Nuremberg, Germany at Arena. That's just the name of the venue is Arena. Finishing November 30th in Cardiff, Wales at the Utilita Arena. Mushroomhead, Dimitri, and Silencer on select dates are going to Europe and to the UK starting August 9th in Bochum, Germany at the Rockpalast featuring Silencer. Finishing August 19th in Berlin, Germany at Cassiopeia, also featuring Silencer. The rest of the dates in between, they kind of vary between Dimitri and Silencer showing up. Then Mushroomhead, Upon a Burning Body, There Is No Us, and Mind Decision are going on a U.S. tour starting October 4th in Buffalo, New York at Rec Room, finishing October 26th in Cleveland, Ohio at the Agora Theater. No Upon a Burning Body at that last show. I still have not seen Mushroomhead, and I would like to, but
That's the one I was looking for.
that tour is almost literally not coming anywhere near here.
I thought it was not in Knoxville.
I don't think so, because usually if there's not a Nashville date, I do include a Tennessee date. I'll double check, but I don't think so. I will confirm. I will confirm when I'm done.
They did announce like 2 different tours Upon a Burning Body did, so it could have been the other one I was thinking.
Yes, and I'm getting to that. So yeah, Upon a Burning Body is going to be busy the rest of the year. Seosin is going on a North American tour. No word yet on the opener. Starting May 30th in San Diego at the Observatory North Park, finishing June 17th in Philadelphia at Underground Arts. Power Trip has announced a couple of reunion shows. June 6th in Pomona, California at the Glass House featuring Soul Glow and Spy. Then June 9th in LA at the Fonda Theater featuring Soul Search and Mortal Wound. Excuse me. Baroness is going to Europe and to the UK with Frail Body, Ken Mode, and Pupil Slicer appearing at select dates. Starting July 24th in Vienna, Austria at Sim City featuring Frail Body. Finishing August 18th in Carhide, France at the Motoculture Festival. Morbid Angel, Suffocation, Uwada, Mortiferum, and Fulci and Knoll are going on a U.S. tour. Starting November 15th in Tampa, Florida at the Orpheum. Finishing December 14th in Fort Lauderdale at the Culture Room. Nashville date, Brooklyn Bowl, November 17th. Then, here's the one you were talking about. Upon a Burning Body, Until I Wake, Of Virtue, and Mike's Dead. Starting June 25th in Little Rock, Arkansas at Rev Room, finishing July 19th in Indianapolis, Indiana at the Black Circle. They will be in Knoxville at the Concourse on June 26th. That is the only Tennessee date. Then we have the ongoing Concept and Oyarsa going on a U.S. tour starting June 22nd in Denver at the Marquee, finishing July 5th in Urbana, Illinois at Audio Feed. They will be at the Cobra in Nashville on June 26th. Galactic Empire, Bit Brigade, and Super Guitar Bros are going on a U.S. tour starting May 8th. It's coming up quick. In Minneapolis, Minnesota at Fine Line. No Super Guitar Bros at that show. Finishing May 18th in Frenchtown, New Jersey at Artie's Bar and Grill. No Super Guitar Bros at that show either. They will be in Nashville on May 15th at the Exit Inn. Galactic Empire will also be going on a Latin American tour after that, with no word yet on the openers, starting June 19th in Guadalajara, Mexico at the C3 stage, finishing July 1st in Santiago, Chile at Teatro Teleton. The Devil Wears Prada is going on a 2025 European tour. No word yet on the openers. starting February 5th in Haarlem, Netherlands at Patronaat, finishing February 23rd in Paris, France at Les Maroquiniers. I think I said that right. I don't know. Lacey Sturm going on a solo tour with Islander and Amethyst Michelle, starting June 28th in Frenchtown, New Jersey at Artie's Bar and Grill, finishing July 18th in Birmingham, Alabama at Saturn. The tour will be in Nashville at Exit Inn on July 8th. Cognitive, Dysentery, and Atre Belis are going on a U.S. tour starting July 18th in Clifton, New Jersey at Dingbats, finishing July 28th in Mechanicsburg, Pennsylvania at the Kennel at West York Inn. They will be in Nashville on the 23rd of July with the venue to be announced.
Mm.
Bloodlines, Lightworker, and American Arson are going to U.S. tour starting June 20th in Haltom, Texas at the Haltom Theater, finishing June 30th in Thompson, Connecticut at the Capulet Fest. So that's a quick little tour. Over at Blabbermouth, Kings of Thrash featuring David Ellison and Jeff Young are going on a fall UK tour with Andre and Helgrim starting October 24th in London, England at Camden Underworld, finishing November 2nd in Manchester, England at the Academy 3. Then over at Metal Injection, we have Mizmor and Amarok going on a North American tour starting July 5th in Vancouver, British Columbia at the Cobalt with Tithe, no Amarok on that show. Finishing July 30th in Oakland, California at the Stork Club. There is a Nashville date July 16th at Dark Matter. So that is going to be hitting the road for the 27th through the 3rd.
I still haven't been to that venue yet. So.
I haven't either. From what I understand, it is tiny.
Oh, really?
From what I hear, it is tiny. But I don't know that for sure. That's just what I hear.
Just what she said.
As well. Potentially.
Oh, all right. I guess that will lead us into our theme of the week.
Yes, it will.
Theme of the week was done by Chris this week. So
Actually, technically, it wasn't, because we were talking about because Amy in the chat last week asked how we come up with the themes.
Oh, that's right.
And you kind of came up with it on the fly. And then I was like, well, do you just want to do that one? And you were like, sure, why the hell not? So this one was technically brought to us in an indirect way by my aunt.
Yeah. So thank you, Aunt Amy.
Yes. So thank you, Aunt Amy.
Inspiration.
Yep.
But I took the give side of this thing. So
wait, we did. Which one did you do?
Give and take. Isn't that what you said?
I thought we were going to do this and that.
No, you messaged me and said give and take. So
that was another one I came up with.
No, when you said that, then you said,
oh shit,
this is going to be interesting.
This will be interesting. Hang on. Hang on. Hold on. Hold on.
Oh, you did say this and that for this week. Last thing I read was give and take. My bad. That's on me. So
okay, so all right, so this week's theme is give and that.
I guess we're just not gonna. I guess we're gonna do this and that, and then you'll just be surprised about all of my stuff.
Okay,
that's how we're gonna do it. So,
because I literally just did the that part. That's all I did. Well, because you remember I sent you a text and said that I already had 11 songs for that done, like on Sunday.
Yeah, I just read the last.
You did, and you do work on Sunday too. I may have caught you at work too.
Yeah.
So
well, work's been a bullshit all week too. So.
Yeah. Okay, so this is actually pretty damn funny. Actually, I like it. I think it's funny.
Oh, yeah.
All right, so are you gonna go first?
No, I'm just gonna let you do yours, and then we'll just do give and take next week. And I'll just add my this stuff to yours for this week.
Okay, all right. Well, the theme for this week was going to be this and that, and I took the that half. So I ended up with 16. So I had a pretty decent amount. I actually already do have the playlist started. It's an hour and 9 minutes already, so pretty good start. So my very first one was All That Was by Becoming off of Sonic Revelations from 2009. Then I had The One That Kills the Least by Slipknot off of Point Five, The Gray Chapter from 2014. Then I had Those That Should Not Exist by Aortha off their Monolith album from last year. Then I had Lies That Bind by Blackening off Awakening Rage from last year. Then I had The Thing That Should Not Be by Metallica off Master of Puppets from 1986. Then they had Kick That Dirt from our friends in Contortion off of their Solace Through Lies album from 2010. Then I had The Light That Blinds by Shadows Fall off The War Within from 2004. Then I had A Dream That Cannot Be by Amon Amarth off Jomsviking from 2016. That was kind of like a song featuring Doro Pesh, so it was actually turned out really well. Then I had Bring That Noise by Primal Fear off of Code Red from last year. Then I had Looks That Kill by Motley Crue off Shout at the Devil from 1983. Then I had The Air That I Breathe by All That Remains off The Fall of Ideals from 2006. Then I had The Man That Never Was by X Hoarder. It was a single that came out in 2020. Then I had That's What Girls Are For by Steel Panther off of Balls Out from 2011. It's always good when Steel Panther can show up on a playlist.
Yeah.
Then I had The God That Failed by Metallica off the Black Album from 1991. The Ghost That's Haunting You by Trivium off Silence in the Snow from 2015. And last but not least, We'll Grind That Axe for a Long Time by Pantera off Reinventing the Steel from 2000. So that is one half of this week's theme of the week.
Well, I'm telling you right now, this is going to be a hell of a playlist because I'm just like looking at 3 songs already. I'm just like, I'm like, it would have done a lot better. Because when I was doing this give and take, I'm like, man, I don't know much with this. I was kind of going with the some outside the box thinking with it because I was like, but I still want to know with like 16 songs for it. So I mean, when we do it, I'll have.
So I have to do take.
Yeah.
Okay, I have to do take. All right, I'm gonna hop on that pretty quick actually. So yeah, like I say, I've pretty much already got the playlist started, and I'm gonna actually just send it to you here in just a second. So
I don't know if you read, but they're actually outlawing Bradford pear trees in Tennessee.
Well, if they want to take mine, they're gonna have to just come down. They're just gonna have to cut them themselves. I'm not paying to do it. So,
well, I think they're gonna make like the state's gonna pay like people to come out and do it. I think just to get rid of them because they're a nuisance for. Well, like I said, not in your yard. I think it's more of public properties.
okay. Well, like I say, if they want mine gone, then they can come cut them down because I'm not paying to do it. I'm not. It's expensive as shit to have a tree cut down.
I hate them fucking trees. I cut them down around here if they want me to, just to get rid of them. They kill me.
Yeah. Well, yeah, your allergy wise, I'm sure they do. But yeah, I thankfully I don't have allergies, but they do like at the beginning of spring when they first bloom, they kind of stink for about a week and a half. But right. after that, it's fine. I mean,
they're pretty for like 2 weeks. So.
Right. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, you can come cut my tree down if you want to.
All right, it's firewood, man. Let's cut down.
But you're gonna pay for it.
So since we had this little foul up, that's on me. That's on me. I apologize. So
I think it's funny. I think it's funny as hell.
Yeah, it is. I guess it's because we were talking too much about them too close together, and I just wasn't paying attention. I was actually going back and looking. I was like, oh, what is it about again? Oh, give and take. That's the first thing I've seen. So I thought, oh, that's it. I didn't even go no further up the conversation until just now. And I was like, oh shit, it is.
No, that's fine. But no, well, okay. Here's the thing, though. Do you want to prepare one for next week? We do have the interview.
Well, I think this one will probably be a little lengthier interview because
I tell you what, I'll put one together anyway, and if we do it next week, we'll have it, and if we push it to the 17th, that's fine. All right, that's fine. Okay, cool. Sounds like a plan.
Yeah, sorry, but since we had that snafu, I actually had a conversational piece I wanted to kind of bring up.
Hey, all right,
because I've seen this, and this was kind of a thing. It's kind of a debate because we always talk about big fours and some genres and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a subject that heated up over the Sick New World Festival that happened. A lot of people were arguing over who should be in the big four of new metal acts. So there seems to be 2 bands that were heavily mentioned above all others. Of course,
Korn and Slipknot.
And Limp Bizkit.
Slipknot.
I'm just
Limp Oil.
They were
Okay.
the two. They were the two talked about on here. So from Loudwire, but Corner, understandably, as many point to the band's 1994 self debut album as the blueprint for much of what much of the new metal that followed.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of Meanwhile, Limp Bizkit, for better or for worse, were likely the most well-known faces of new metal, enjoying huge popularity in the late '90s and taking most of the heat with the genre's downfall in the early 2000s. Um, so these are the bands that were mentioned. Korn, of course. A fun fact about this is Korn actually has the first two music videos retired by TRL, Got the Life and Freak on a Leash, which is kind of crazy.
Got the Life. Got the Life is actually the song that really got me into Korn.
Yeah. They literally invented the genre, and since then nobody has been able to capture the distinct sound, kind of like System of a Down. Korn invented the new metal, didn't they? Korn, hands down, came out in '94. Limp Bizkit came out in '97. Wonder why people have the strong impression that Limp Bizkit were one of the biggest. They only have an advantage when it comes to overall YouTube plays. Yeah, no, Bizkit was one of the biggest new metal bands in terms of sales and mainstream popularity. They just went on multiple hiatus after West left, came back, left again, and came back again.
Mm-hmm.
The biggest debate appears to be a four-horse race for two spots. The person who introduced the thread suggested that Deftones and Slipknot should round out the big four, but as the discussion revolved, there was a lot of support for Linkin Park and System of a Down as well, with Linkin Park and Slipknot drawing the most mentions. Of course,
I
Slipknot.
I think Slipknot's got to be in there, well, for me, I would say I would start with Korn and Slipknot for me personally.
Yeah.
And then the debate would be for 3 and 4. So I don't really know.
If you bring System of a Down into it, I mean, you almost have to think they would be in one of those spots too. I would probably put them in there before I would Limp Bizkit, honestly, but that's just me.
I would probably be inclined to agree with you.
Because I don't think Limp Bizkit was a total metal. You know what I mean?
No.
They were rap metal more than they were new metal. I mean,
Yeah, they really were.
Anyway, Slipknot's a major influence on modern new metal, so I disagree. I don't consider Slipknot to be a new metal band at all. Slipknot, Linkin Park, Mushroom Head, and Static X were my big four. When I was a youngin, it was Slipknot, System of a Down, Mudvayne, and Korn. Now I would do Slipknot, System of a Down, Deftones, and Korn. So it depends on who you talk to. So
personally, I wouldn't put Deftones in
no,
mine.
no, me either.
No. Like I say, teach their own. Deftones would not be in mine.
Linkin Park should be there too. New metal was mainstream before Linkin Park. I remember watching TRL and being so excited to see Korn and Limp Bizkit on TV in '98. Linkin Park perfected new metal, and it was basically over by the time Meteora came out. Yeah, Linkin Park way more popular than Deftones. Deftones was barely considered new metal at the time. Mine is almost the same with LP instead of Not. Not sort of fits, but they didn't have as much influence on the new metal genre as a whole compared to the rest. I'm no fan of Linkin Park's catalog.
That doesn't necessarily. That doesn't. I'm sorry, I cut you off. Sorry.
But I'd argue that if there was a definitive verdict, they belong in the big four just off the impact of their first two records. That's just my 2 cents. I just can't see Linkin Park as new metal. I love LP, but they just don't give off the raw, unhinged, crunchy sound that I associate with new metal so much. Linkin Park had to be in there based on record sales alone. I don't consider Slipknot to be new metal at all. So that was their take on Linkin Park. So what are you going to say about
what I was going to say is they were talking about like influence. Influence doesn't, to me, influence doesn't necessarily, lack of influence. Like even if you came along a little later, but you ended up having more fans, better, you just became more popular for overall for whatever reason.
But if you think influence the way that we do nowadays, though, is you're thinking someone's influencing someone else to think the way that they're thinking. So it's not really an original thought on that individual. You see what I'm saying? Like, so
right.
if you and you say, "Oh, well, Slipknot's in there," and then you get somebody being like, "Oh, well, maybe they're not." And you get them thinking twice about their personal opinion. You know what I mean? So then you're influencing you're influencing their decision and who they think should be there.
No, no,
So
no. Right, I agree. But what I was trying to say is, with that one person who said that just because they don't consider, I can't even remember what band it was at this point, to be honest with you, but they said, I don't consider X band to be a part of the big four because they didn't have influence. Just because they weren't like one of the first four doesn't mean they can't be in the big four. That's my whole thing.
it's Slipknot.
It's not just, okay, well, the first four bands influence the rest of them, so they're the big four and everybody else is the rest. To say that doesn't, I don't agree with that.
I mean, even the big four of thrash, there's arguments to be made. I mean, it's like so. I
Right.
mean, it's like
Right.
we've talked
Because
places
some
that, bands that should be in the conversation.
so so I don't know, but I mean, those are always good topics of discussion.
The next
I
one, the
it,
next one
it,
was System of a Down. I said I feel like System is more iconic than Deftones. To be honest, I would swap Deftones for System of a Down. No offense to the Deftones, but their stuff was less new metal over time. System of a Down, debatable, but they were kind of wild as hell and got really popular. System of a Down should replace Limp Bizkit or Slipknot. I don't agree with that, but maybe
no,
maybe Limp Bizkit, but not
I've
Slipknot.
got
Slipknot and Korn should definitely be two bands involved.
I've got a little bit of a hot take on this. Since we're talking about it, I don't know if this band is gonna be mentioned in this context at all. But this one, for me personally, I would probably have to at least consider them as Disturbed.
Mm. Eh, I don't know. Disturbed would. I don't know. I don't know if I put Disturbed in a new metal category though. Um,
So whoever brought up Mudvayne, that was actually, I would say, would probably have to be a contender too.
yeah,
Aside from the fact that they were on hiatus for way too long.
right. Then they got the Deftones on here. I love Deftones. They are pretty deep with their music. Respectfully, Deftones destroy the other three in this lineup. First two albums were pretty good for me, but then White Pony came out and he just did that on vocals from then on. Couldn't get into it. I really hadn't listened to much Deftones since, but it took me a long time to finally warm up to their Diamond Eyes album. I was just about to sell it to two before I decided to give it one more listen. It actually grew on me. Still not one of my favorite albums, and still not eager to listen to more Deftones, but I do appreciate Diamond Eyes now at least.
I
Uh, Deftones is more shoegaze than new metal, and they recently inspired a ton of Gen Z bands that make music exactly the same as theirs. Deftones debatable, but they came out in '95, same as Korn and the Cold Chamber. Directly stated that their
Oh
sound was
Jesus, I fucking forgot about Cold Chamber.
and they're going to mention a lot of bands in here. We're going to be like, fuck. But Deftones was highly influential when half of new metal bands that came out after them sounded like them. The other half sounded like Korn and had songs mixed with Deftones and Korn influences. Deftones is for sure a contender for the four, but I don't see them as more successful or influential than these bands. Deftones were only new metal for an album, absolutely an alternative metal band from White Pony on. Therefore, never really classify them as new metal, but a band that always have had the elements. Deftones, and maybe Korn for me. So it's like these are the people in the Loudwire writings they're doing
Okay.
there. Okay. One says no, Deftones aren't in it. I wouldn't put Limp Bizkit in either, and System of a Down isn't new metal anyway. So Deftones definitely aren't new metal. Chino even hates having this band called new metal. Uh, who else gets
Well,
mentioned?
that's fine, because I actually never really considered Deftones metal anyway. I was never able to get into them.
Who else
Like I
gets
say, just me.
who else gets mentioned? Static X popped up several times in the discussion, as did Rage Against the Machine. Meanwhile, other acts of Seven Dust, Incubus, Disturbed, Mushroom Head, Mudvayne, Cold Chamber, Drowning Pool, and Evanescence all received recognition from a few commenters as well.
Evanescence is not new metal.
No, they're barely hard rocks. Static X don't get enough love. If it
No,
is
I don't think they do either.
going to be actual new metal bands, then the big four are Limp Bizkit, Korn, Slipknot, and Static X. Seven Dust instead of anyone that's not Korn or Deftones. Seven Dust is not a new metal band either. Um, when I was a youngin', it was Slipknot, System of a Down, Mudvayne, and Korn. Incubus was highly influential with their weird guitar effects, funky rhythms that mix of with rap and melodic singing. But their
Incubus isn't even metal, let alone new metal.
Loudwire has gotten way off course with what they think metal is.
No,
they include a lot of
Incubus has never been metal.
they include a lot of rock acts. I'm just like, dude, they're barely rock. I mean,
Yeah.
uh, in recent years, Loudwire cranked out our Big Four in a variety of hard rock and metal subgenres. For new metal, the Big Four were Korn, Linkin Park, System of a Down, and Limp Bizkit. That's what they wound up with after all that. So,
I I
which,
may not necessarily agree, but it doesn't piss me off.
yeah, I mean, because Korn obviously is going to be there.
Corn is like they're basically the godfathers of new metal.
Yeah. To me it would probably be Korn. It would have to be Korn, System of a Down, Static X, and Slipknot.
See, I'm on board for that. I'm on board for that big four.
That's just my opinion. But
I'm on board for that big four.
yeah, that's just me, and all those bands are actually metal. So.
That actually helps. That helps.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I just kind of
Incubus, really Incubus. Come on.
I kind of thought that was an interesting.
I mean,
Of course,
like I say, I know everyone's entitled to their own opinion, but Jesus, Incubus, seriously, come on, man.
It's kind of wild, man. So anyway,
That one's out there.
yeah, it's way out there. All right, so I guess we'll get into album reviews since I listened to 2 EPs and a full length today. So,
well, look at you go. All right.
getting all in today. Of course, like I said, I've been going since 9 o'clock this morning to doctor's appointments and stuff like that. So I've had plenty of time to get stuff in.
Oh, there you go.
So my first one was the full length album was Aorist, Relics of Time. Um, Aorist is a band out of, and I know I'm going to kill some of these names, but Osnabrück, Germany. It's in Lower Saxony, it looks like. Um, they are a thrash metal band formed in 2022, so fairly new. Of course, these guys have been in other bands. They just not, not all of a sudden came into this band, so they just found their niche in this one, I guess. Current members are Manuel Koster, bass, Dominic Schluter, drums, Christian Less, guitars, Manuel Forderer, guitars, and then Julian Mueller Terbil, vocals. This is the band's debut full-length album, 8 songs, 44 minutes, 31 seconds. Definitely a traditional thrash, I guess like album length and song, song choice and length, I guess you could say. Because like most of the time when you bought stuff back in the 80s, it was 7 or 8 songs, 40 minutes long. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of fits right in that mold with all that. So it's kind of cool. I mean, I love the old school. They try to put a lot of old school stuff back in the thrash. I do like that.
I'm in.
The big thing that stuck out with this one in this album was the guitar work. These guitarists, man, they play really well. They play really well off of each other too. So some amazing solos. And said, dude, I'm just like, I listened to this thing like twice just because of the guitars, and I'm just like, this is phenomenal, dude. Like these are going to be some guitarists that we probably be talking about for a long time to come, hopefully, because they're definitely talented guys. Drumming is very well done too. Excellent drumming throughout this thing. Vocally, it's mostly the thrash rasp, is what I like to call it. I know you kind of know what I'm talking about.
I do. I absolutely do.
So definitely in the realms of kind of Creator and
Like
that kind of feel. So
Millie Petroza and Bobby Blitz Ellsworth and shit like that.
Yeah, stuff like that. So it's definitely everything that you would say. I mean, nothing in this thing would question that it was not a thrash album. I mean, I think you would pretty much say, yeah, this is very much a traditional thrash album. So definitely giving this one 4 horns. I love this album, dude.
Hell yeah, dude.
It's going to be probably a re-listen by the end of the year, I'm sure. So
well, good. That gives me a little bit of homework to do. I'm all in for some old school thrash, man.
Then the first EP I did was Wolves Don't Sleep, Fears and Fractures EP. Wolves Don't Sleep are a metalcore band out of Nottingham, England, in the UK. They were formed in 2015. They are currently Daniel Bingley on bass, Daniel Bradley on guitars, Sean James Rice on guitars, Connor McLean on drums, and Stephen Bond on vocals. So I think Stephen and, well, actually, I don't know. I guess they would all be. I don't know if they're all like, because it's got those two guys saying 2015 to present. So I don't know if they were they're the two originals or something. I don't know why they would do it like that. Since the band was formed in 2015, you would think all the members would be there since 2015. So,
Well, that's true. That's true.
so this is the band's second EP. They don't have any full lengths on their catalog yet. So still sticking with EP so far. So this one's 5 songs, 18 minutes, 25 seconds. So fairly quick listen. Kind of EP category there. It's usually you think EP, you usually say 5 songs, 20 minutes or something like that. That's what I usually say, 20, 25 minutes, kind of 4 or 5 minutes per song.
Yeah.
So, kind of fits right in that category. This one definitely screams metalcore. I mean, see what I did there?
I did. I like it. I like it.
So vocally was very aggressive with the mostly screams. The music composition was well done. Not a lot to really pick apart from it. The only thing that I would say in this one was the overuse of the blah. They kind of did that like a damn near every song. Like, really, you don't have to do it every song, dude. Come on.
Mm-hmm.
I liked it. Don't get me wrong. I do like I almost like to be surprised by that when I hear it. I'm just, oh, that's cool. They kind of snuck it in there, because when you're hearing 3 songs in a row, and I'm like, wait, are they going to do this every song? Because then you're like just anticipating it at that point,
right?
So when you do hear, there's like Halo Scars just kind of did that in one of their songs that they put out, and I was just like, oh, hey, he went out and did the blah. But yeah, that's the only thing that I would say that was really kind of, I think they kind of did that a little too much. But like I said, not a deal breaker by no means. Don't get me wrong. That's just me being nitpicky. But I'm still going to give it 4 horns because I thought it was pretty good, pretty well done. So
nice.
All right, and last but not least, Hollow Leg was the band. The Dust was the EP. Hollow Leg is where you put your weed. I don't know. That's what I heard. Just kidding. Hollow Leg are a sludge doom metal band out of Jacksonville, Florida, formed in 2008. Current members are Tom Crowther on bass, John Stewart on drums. Yes, not that John Stewart. Scott Angelakos on vocals, and then Brent Lynch on vocals and guitars. Wonder if Brent Lynch is any kin to George. That would be kind of interesting.
It would actually.
This is the band's second EP, but they also have 4 full lengths under their belt as well. So definitely have a list of music there to go back and listen to if you want to. So this one, if you could imagine Randy Blythe singing for Down, that's kind of what it reminded me of. I was like, how can I describe this in a way that people would get the sound out of this thing?
I can see it.
But I could say also like this would be a band that I would imagine Black Sabbath was sounding like this if they started in 08 instead of 1969.
Okay.
And of course, Black Sabbath was kind of a doom metal band too. So, so like a modernized Black Sabbath, I guess you could say. So.
All right then.
So this one is definitely doom metal leaning, slow to mid riffs. The mid paced drumming with more thrash. I thought the vocals were a little more thrashy though. They still had that little raspy, type vocals to it. And it's not the vocals didn't like drag. You know what I mean? Like a lot of the doom metal, sludge metal, you'll be, and it's kind of like. It's like, yes, but no, thank you.
Yeah.
But this one's not like that. It's a little bit more, like I said, it was more mid tempo. It wasn't really all the way down.
Yeah.
So it wasn't really, it really wasn't like a doing a concert in a tunnel. But so
right, yeah.
But yeah, I think this one was really well done. It was definitely different. Like. It's definitely worth checking out. But I'm giving this one 4 horns as well. I mean, I liked it, and I'm not really into doom metal most of the time, so it's kind of interesting.
Yeah, You're just throwing out fours today.
Fours, man. Everybody gets
You
a
get a
four.
four. Everybody
Four,
gets
you
a four.
get a four.
Well, that's awesome. Well, I wish I could keep the streak going. Spoiler alert. My album that I listened to this week only got the one. I listened to the new album Monochrome Nightmare by Germ Bomb. They are a thrash slash crossover band formed in Gothenburg, Sweden in 2009. Their lyrical themes are society, so no shortage of source material there when that's your lyrical themes. Uh, this is actually a duo: Pierre Olsen on drums and vocals, and Hampus Kylan Kylan Stierna on vocals, guitars, and bass. I don't know who's lead. I don't know who's backup as far as vocals go. And obviously, I'm sure when they go live, they have people who play on
Oh,
stage
yeah.
with them. This is actually their fifth full length album. Their debut, Infected from Birth, came out in 2010, leading up to the new album, today. The album is 9 tracks long, 38 minutes and 34 seconds. The very first, the I'm not going to go track by track, but the very first track gave me, a little bit of pause because basically, and like I say, I remember I don't know who's the lead vocalist and who's the backup. I don't know if they take turns doing lead or what. Basically, the entire first track was more or less spoken word all the way through, and I was like, I hope this isn't what happens all the way through the album. And it wasn't, which is good. But one thing that kind of turned me off about this album is they're listed as a thrash slash crossover band, and I don't I don't find that accurate at all, at least for this album. Not knowing what the rest of their catalog sounds like, this was more of a horror punk album. It was they're like I say, the first track was mostly spoken word. It's kind of dark. Uh, the guitar riffs were pretty basic. It was basically just a B chord progression back and forth. Nothing super duper intricate. There was more punk influence than anything. The drumming wasn't anything spectacular. Um, the tempo did pick up a little bit towards the end of as the album went on. It got a little bit more up tempo. The only the only song that I even remember having a solo was the track number 7, and it's titled Germ Bomb, so it's not even the title track. It's just the song named after the band, and it was the only song that I remember having a solo at all, which for me is kind of like a problem if there's no guitar solos, and especially in the situation like this where like a lot of the musical composition was pretty basic. Like I've never been a fan of punk because it's not punk is like not diverse enough, because to me punk music isn't about the music, it's about the message, because punk
Right.
is always trying to like say something and make a statement, and kind of like the music is secondary.
Mhm.
That's kind of how it felt here. Now, like I say, the singing on the first track was mostly spoken word, and it got better as it went along. It was a little more melodic, a little more rhythmic, a little more singy. I mean, they actually started to actually sing as the album went on, so that was better. So, I mean, it was fine. I'm just gonna give this one a 2.5 out of 5. I didn't love it. I didn't hate it, but I think the album is mischaracterized. I don't know if the band itself is mischaracterized, because this isn't thrash, and crossover. I guess crossover kind of fits, but it's kind of more horror punk to me than anything thrash. It does not even remotely close to thrash as far as I'm concerned. Like I say, just talking about this album, I don't know about the other four.
Right.
So
What was it? Oh, there was one that I want you to, if you get time, since we're not doing a show next week, or we're doing a show, but we're doing an interview. But seeing as I'd like to get your opinion on this Isopin Aftermath Chronicles. It
ice.
seems like it's more in your realm, uh, and I was kind of like, it's something I could listen to. So, but it was definitely more in your realm of the melodic.
What was it?
The band's called where do you go? Isopin. I
Oh,
was
ice. Oh, okay, I see it. Ice. Okay.
Aftermath Chronicles. Yeah, so that's kind of get your opinion on that album.
Okay, I'll check it out. Aftermath Chronicles. All right, I'm gonna make a note.
I think you'd have
And
probably I think you'd have probably been better off listening to that one than the one you did.
well, yeah. I mean,
But
that's what happens when you make a blind choice. It
yeah,
happens.
I mean, I kind of went in. Kind of go in on blind, but I don't go in on blind. You know what I mean? I only hear one song, so I'm not really sure like what the rest of the album sounds like. I just kind of go based
Sure.
off one song, and be like, you know what? Yeah, we'll see what the rest of it sounds.
Yeah, but I'm definitely going to listen to that Aorist. I'm definitely going to check that out.
It was a good album, man.
Yeah.
Very surprised.
All right. Well, looking forward to this Friday, May 10th, leading off with Annette Olsen, a solo album titled Rapture. If you don't know, Annette Olsen is a former Nightwish lead singer.
Yeah.
Bad Beat with LP 2024. And I'm still not sure how to say this, and because I already said it once, so I think they may have moved this album down at least a week, but it's Bahahaha, Baxaxa.
Yeah, that was on this week, but it did. I couldn't find anything on it.
So I guess they moved it down a week.
Okay.
I hope they don't move it down another week because I'm getting tired of trying to figure out how the hell to say this band name. But the album is Spells from the Crypt. Then we have Beautiful Skeletons with Temperance. That's an EP. Then we have Belushi Speedball with Stel Kira. Big Special with Post Industrial Hometown Blues. Then we have Black Sabbath Anno Domini 89 to 95 box set. We have Borer with Bag Seeker. We have Bosk with Point 4. Callus with Gravest Decennium. We have Chaska with Rites of June. That's an EP. Coldborn with The Unwritten Pages of Death. We have Crown Shift with a self-titled album. We have DAD with Greatest Hits 84 to 24. Darkness Everywhere with To Conquer Eternal Damnation. We have Demersal with a self-titled album. Desolus with System Shock. Devourer with The Wicked Ones. Dodsford with Wrath. Downcross with White Tower. Electro Sound Parade with Nason Dorma. El Muno with The Walking Sun. Flamekeeper with a self-titled album. Fragmentum with Corn Ritual. That's an EP. That's CORN, not KORN.
All right.
Freedom Call with Silver Romance, Funeral Storm with Chthonic Invocations. Then we have Gienford with a self-titled album, thank God. Godmother with Cinecelled, that's an EP. We have Hagatise with The Fountain of Fallen Stars, the Hazy Tones with Wild Fever, Hell Priests with Sermon, that's an EP. Illusion of Fate with Portals to Cur, Ivanhoe with Healed by the Sun, J.D. Miller with Empyrean. We have Jours Pales with Disillusion, Just One Fix with Submit or Death, that's an EP. Knocked Loose with You Won't Go Before You're Supposed to. Like Moths to Flames with the Cycles of Trying to Cope. We have Lynx with Claws Out, Machiavellian God with Beyond the Void. We have Maheshvara with Amtat Sat. Mandoki Soulmates with A Memory of Our Future. Wasn't Mandoki a character on Super Mario Brothers 3? Missiles with Weaponized Tomorrow, Necrophagia with Moribundus Grim. We have Oath Swan with For Those Who Breathe from Darkness, that's an EP. Paradox Rift with Ensnared, Pontifex with From the Pale Mist, Power Man 5000 with Abandoned Ship, Primitive Warfare with Extinction Protocol, Putrefied with Death, Darkness, Decay, Red Rot with Borders of Mania, Revenant with What a Time to Be Alive, that's an EP. We have Raso Metile with Behenna. We have Sakna with De Civ Das Cinder. Dodd Cinder? Okay. We have Sarcophagus with Remnants, that's an EP. Scoured with a self-titled album. Sebastian Bach with Child Within the Man. Shroud of Despondency / Lanzerwrath with a split EP. That's the name of the EP, Split. That's funny. Citus Etrum with Tom Sky. 6 Feet Under with Killing for Revenge. That might be interesting. New 6 Feet Under. Smoke AXD. I don't know. It's supposed to be like A&D with Via Con Dios. That's an EP. The Sonic Dawn with Phantom. Sonic Universe with It Is What It Is. Southtown Lanes with Take Care. Stretch Armstrong with The Revealing. That's an EP. It's not Stretch Armstrong. It's Stretch Armstrong. Sonata with Chasing Shadows. That band has actually sent us press info about that album.
Who was it?
Sonata, Sunnata, and their album Chasing Shadows. They actually sent us. They actually sent us a press kit to our email. I don't know if you've seen it, but you should check it out.
Yeah, I want to check it out. I haven't seen it.
Yeah. Then we have Sun Eater with Never Return. We have Sick with Earth Flesh. Take Offense to Totality. The Tangent for One with To Follow Polaris. The Treatment with Wake Up the Neighborhood. Uncle Acid and the Deadbeats with Nell Aura Blue. Unleash the Archers with Phantoma. Vaticinal Rites with Cascading Memories of Immortality. We have Vestindian with Verdande. We have Valdemar with Sanctuary of Death. Viglios with Tome 1, Epidae, and Warlord with Free Spirit Soar. So, not quite as long of a list, but still more than enough for us to choose from. Without a doubt. So,
like I said, we'll still try to get album reviews in on the pages next weekend. So.
Yes, we will.
If we don't get, I mean, we'll try to get some basic stuff just in case it doesn't go as long as we wanted to. Speaking of which, I guess we'll talk about that real quick. We're supposed to got it lined up to interview a band out of San Francisco, California called Lightworker.
Yep.
They're
and they are actually Lightworker. They are actually going to, I mentioned them during the Hit in the Road segment. They are going to be with Bloodlines and American Arson on tour starting in June.
Yep. So I guess we will talk more about that when we talk to them too. So.
That's right.
So looking forward to that. So.
Yep. So that's going to be cool. So we have another live guest, an American artist this time. We're not going to Europe next week. So
reel it back in a little. So
yeah, we will.
And then, of course, if we talk to a couple other bands that I'm talking to, then we'll be in America for a couple of weeks, maybe. So I know I know at least one of those bands are going back out on tour in June, so I'm gonna try to catch them in between tours. So.
Oh, see, that would be good.
Yeah, so. Anyway, as always, if you want to see, look down the ticker scrolling at the bottom of the screen. You can catch our 24-hour, 24/7 radio station there at the stream.trulyradio247.com/8008/stream. We changed that a little bit due to the servers being burned up.
It was kind of forced upon us.
If you go to the old one, you're not going to hear metal.
No, you will not.
Well, you might, but it's going to be very sprinkled in. So
yeah,
they kind of so the other one is a podcast as well, and they do a drinking podcast. So they actually take shots of stuff that they have never drank before while listening to music. So they do a little bit of both. So the music that's on theirs is from like their podcast and stuff. So they listen to everything. They got R&B, rap, and country, and rock, and metal, and everything on there. So if you listen to that, you're going to get a little bit of everything. If you listen to 8008, you're only going to get metal. So
that's right.
So, I think I figured out there's only we've only been able to upload 600 songs so far, but
I did put a couple more playlists onto the radio station earlier this week, so I did add a couple. So I will work on some more tomorrow.
Yeah, we'll get it back up there. So and I'll work on the playlist, which my dumb ass didn't even do that. Like, what am I doing here? Jesus Christ! I guess we've been I took 2 weeks off and I don't know what I'm doing anymore.
Yeah.
But anyway,
but the playlists are at Spotify. All the themes of the week are at Spotify. All of Jason's new released playlists are on Spotify. They're all there. If you search for Metalheads Unite, you'll pretty much find anything that we've put up there. Then we got all of our social media. We got the Facebook page, which is public. We got the Facebook group, which is private. We've got Instagram. We've got TikTok. We've got what else? Instagram, TikTok. We've got Rumble. We've got Twitch. We've got X. What else we got? We got our YouTube channel. So we got that. I think that was pretty much it. You figured I would have all these down by now, 4 years in, but it seems like I always forget.
I mean, we have added a couple since along the way. So
yes, we have.
This is the weekly playlist I was telling you guys about earlier in the show. This has the newer stuff from All That Remains and the Hell Raising and Never Fades song on there from last week we talked to. So a lot of new stuff on there. So I think it's like 35 tracks on this one this week. So there's a lot of new stuff on there.
It's a good one.
Yes.
I wish we could. I wish we could find a way to where when you put that up, it's actually a hyperlink. That would be so nice.
I think that's something set in StreamYard. So
Yeah, I know, but I just wish that because that's a lot of like
I can request that from them. I mean,
that would be cool because that is an awful lot of characters to try to.
copy and paste it.
Yeah,
I
oof,
mean,
that's a lot.
it's in the message board of all the ones
Yeah,
too. So
yeah,
I
it is.
can copy. Actually, it shows up on like YouTube and stuff as a hyperlink. So if you go there, you can actually have a hyperlink. So
Okay, all right. Well, see, I didn't know that. That's actually good to
it just,
know.
yeah, it just doesn't do it. Like even if you go to our Facebook, uh, make sure I don't want to lie to you. I'm pretty sure it.
Okay, well, that's good to know.
Just trying to make sure I don't want to tell anybody some wrong information. So,
Oh, of course, yeah.
I don't know if you've seen the oh, yes. So it does show up as a hyperlink, and I'm in Facebook right now, and it does show up as a hyperlink. So
Well, see, there you go.
in
Okay, so
the comments. So and then
well, that's good.
the one on here now is the was it Now and Then this week, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So Now and Then is the so, so I'll spend the day tomorrow trying to get this playlist together so you can post it, and then I'll download it to the radio stations. I'm trying to keep away from the top, so so I know where I'm at going down.
Right. Yeah.
Uh,
Well, I mean, if you get it compiled, send it to me, and I'll put it on the radio station. That's fine. And if you don't want to lose your place,
well, I'm just trying because I was working from the top down and you were working from the back up. I'm just trying to make
Mhm.
sure we meet in the middle and then we can figure it out after that.
Sure.
And then we'll kind of split it up. You can do the playlist and I'll do the new music every week or something
Yeah. That makes total sense. Yeah. All right.
after we get caught up. So
Makes total sense.
I'm just trying to because I got it. Like you know, I don't know if you noticed, but when you go in there and you do that in Spotify, it'll kind of move your playlist around. So if you don't do it right, then it'll be all whacked up in there. So
Yeah, I have noticed that.
I'll be like, oh shit, where was I at? So I have like had to write it down a few times where I was at. So so
Yeah.
let me make sure I crossed out the right one. This
Yeah, I do know where I'm at. So
all right. All right. That being said, that is those two playlists. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the show. Thank you for stopping by. Thanks to Amy and Dana for being in the chat again, as
yep.
always. Uh, regulars. There's,
Yes.
and then, look forward to next week. We'll be in a band interview with Lightworker. So hope you
Yep.
guys stop in for that. And then have got the interview from last week downloaded. I haven't edited it yet, so hopefully I'll get that done tomorrow as well and put it up on Spotify. So that's be available there too. So
Nice.
it's like I said, it's been a week right. I've done it before. Had one of those weeks this week. So.
Yeah. It do be like that sometimes.
One of those that's so bad, it's like, man, fuck this place. Clock out.
No, I know. I'm hip.
So anyway, sit there. So hopefully you guys enjoyed it, and hope you'll be back next week. Until then, keep those horns held high. Jump in that pit anytime you can.
Have a great week, you guys. Thank you very much.